What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Sisko and Mike show. Hope you guys had a great Valentine's Day. If you love us as much as we love you, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and follow us. Let us know what you're thinking. Today, we have a guest, Isimo, in the studio today. He's from the Isimo Podcast. We got Gerardo in the house today.
Yes, sir.
Welcome, bro.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming by, man.
Yeah, I love the show, man. I listened to one episode and I hit you up. I was like, Doc, you got to have me on, dude. I'm Mexican. You know what I mean?
What episode was that, bro? You don't mind me asking?
I watched the Sal Gomez episode. Yeah.
Okay. Nice, another fellow podcaster. I seen you guys
on his feed and I was like, oh, what? It looked amazing, right? And I was like, oh, shit. And then the clip itself was like, just only the points you guys talked about, and I was like, God. And then I clicked through. I was like, clicked on it, and then I ended up watching the whole thing. But it's a good episode, dude.
Well, thanks, bro.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
I mean, it's good. You know, you're a podcaster. We're fairly new to the game, and it's funny because we were at an event and just meeting more podcasters, bro. Like, we have to start supporting each other. You know, I know that you talk about it too. Oh yeah, supporting our Latino podcasters because I mean, shit, if everybody's out there trying to pull us down, why are we gonna do it to ourselves?
Yeah, exactly. Especially because the same week I hit you up is the same week that the whole George Lopez thing happened. So like, it's I don't know. It's not like practice what you preach, but it's like, it kind of like awakened that thing in me where I'm like, fool, I should be doing Mexican podcasts. What am I doing? Yeah. If I'm Mexican, I want to support other Mexican artists because that was the whole thing in question with George. Yeah. And I think that's where it came from when I hit you up.
Nice. That's dope. Nice. And it's funny because I don't know if you were the first, but after we talked, we started getting hit up by other people, and we're going to start collabing with other podcasters too. Yeah. We're going to start going on other people's shows, and they're going to come on ours. And like you said, man, it's just about helping each other out.
Yeah. We recently had Ponte las Pilas. Have you seen that show?
Yeah. Yeah.
We had them on our show. But it was like 6 foods with a mic, so it was like it was too much. But it's like I want to do it again, but with like one at a time kind of thing. You
gotcha.
Know what I mean?
Each individual person.
Because they were hilarious, but it's just like you can hardly hear it sometimes.
Hey, that's pretty weird. I wonder how that would be with us, dude. Like,
oh my god.
Well, we tried it. Last episode with Kayla. We had 6 people. No,
5 people.
5 people on the show, and you're right. With the whole mic thing, it was like fuck, like.
Doc, but the thing is too, I should have noticed. I don't know why I didn't notice it, but everyone was drinking Red Bulls before, and I was like, nothing happened in my head. I was just like drinking a Red Bull myself. You know what I mean? And while it was happening, I was like, "Oh shit, this is chaos, dude."
It's probably the Red Bulls, though, bro. Everybody's fucking growing wings and shit. But we're having a conversation right now off camera, and we decided to kind of hold off on it. We're talking about supporting podcasters and Mexican podcasters and all that. And we started talking about the whole George Lopez thing. I know it's probably over by now, but we haven't really voiced our opinion on it. And I know we all had unique view. Yeah, that might as well get thrown out there. Yeah, dude, I want to hear your point out.
I'm just gonna say, like I've been saying, like Rob Barbosa is a good comedian. Yeah. I like him. He's fucking funny. And George Lopez too. I grew up watching him, so I can't say fuck George Lopez, but I get why everybody's mad at him. Because, yeah, you're right. It's about supporting each other. At the end of the day, though, like, it's his podcast. So, I mean, what he said was his opinion. And maybe he wasn't doing it to be malice, like, out of malice. He was just doing it because he genuinely just said, man, who the fuck is that kid? Like for example, Trevino. I know Trevino. I've been watching his shit. His one of his specials, one of my favorites, is How to Talk Wife or How to Speak Wife. Mm-hmm. I asked you who the fuck, if you knew Trevino, you didn't even know who he was. So how do you expect some people to know? You know what I'm saying? I get it. You're supposed to know because you're out there.
You're not supposed to know.
Yeah.
Okay, exactly. So why is he being faulted for not knowing who this kid is?
I think what's happening is showing it's just like, why be against something that you don't have to be against in that moment? True. It's like, why I took this hardcore stance about, like, fuck other people. Fool, you could do. It's like, Trevino's trying to express himself saying, like, how good this kid is, how he wants him to do better than he did. Like, he's talking about how hard it was for him and that he held a grudge against George Lopez because he felt like George Lopez owed him something. Yeah. But then he realized, like, maybe that's not true. Maybe I got to just do my thing, but I could change that for other people coming up. Yeah, George is like, nah, fuck that shit, dog. Nah. You got to just look out for yourself, which is a wild stance to take. You know what I mean?
True. Yeah, that was a point for me. I think because George went way out of his way to like make that point. Like, who the fuck is this kid? He could have gone about it 100 ways. Oh, I haven't seen this kid. Yeah. But he kept going at it and going at it. At some point, I feel like he was trying to make it funny too, but just to the repetitive of it, it's like, okay, like,
well,
that was my issue.
I'm gonna say one thing because
And he has a history of it too. So,
well, that's what I'm saying. He's consistently being George Lopez. He is an asshole. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, as funny as he is, and as much I want to say that I grew up watching him, and oh shit, I don't look up to him like that, but he made me laugh. But he is consistently an asshole. Yeah. So if you watch his podcast, he's done that shit. He does that shit to Gil. And I'm like, fuck, dude.
Shout out to Gil.
Yeah, shout out to Gil Carrillo. I hate that he does that to him because I'm like, dude, like, but that's who he is. He's a fucking asshole.
But you know what's funny? There's now that his past is gonna come out, because there's been a lot of things now, comedians talking about companies that George, like, he was gonna work for, that he said, I'm the only Latino that's gonna be on this. If not, I'm not gonna do it. Yeah. So, you know, and my whole thing is when you do something like that fool's making a living, and he's made his career off us. Yeah. The Mexican people, the Latino people. And why is he doing that to the people where he's getting his material from, and where he's getting everything from? You know what I mean? No, that's what he's known for. I totally agree. Because if you're out there fucking saying, no, I only want to be the guy, then that's kind of fucked up. Because you should be able to share it with everybody. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, you can't just hog everything. So that aspect, I agree with you. But as far as somebody saying something, I just don't like this whole. It goes back to like Kevin Hart, you know, him not being able to host was it the Oscars? And it was because of something he said a long time ago. And it's like, he's a fucking comedian, dude. What the fuck? Like, you know, I don't agree with shit like that. When people say something, but that's cancel culture, though. It's the phases we're going through.
I guess.
Yeah, I mean, with George, it's just, dog, I don't know. It's like it's coming from a place of just like unfounded fear. It's like, oh, you want everyone to think of you when they think Mexican? You're not okay with anyone else getting that kind of spotlight? Or you think that they're going to take from you just because they're Mexican too? It's like, it's just a weird fear to have.
That's true.
It's like he has a strong legacy already. There's no arguing who George, I used to look up to that guy, you know what I mean? Yeah. And for me now, it's like, I can care less about him if he's going to take that kind of stance.
Exactly.
Only because, listen, that's him now. Obviously, you got member and all that shit from before, which that as a kid watching that shit made me laugh hard. Yeah. And made me connect with my family in a different way, which is something that I will always hold and cherish. But taking a stance against younger Latinos, that's that shit that we got to get rid of, dude.
True. And it's a mentality, bro. It's a generational mentality. Yeah. Even in the workforce, if you think about it, like, people don't want to help people or teach people because why? Oh, he's gonna replace me. That's the mentality that they used to have. It was a survival mode mentality. And I get it, because at the time, that's what was needed. Mm-hmm. But you have to adapt, bro. You gotta grow.
Okay, but you're asking an old head to change his ways. Yes, I know.
That's just ignorance, fool.
Yeah. But at the same time, ignorance, but what I'm saying is, how are you going to change somebody's mentality after so many years?
His mentality.
In his mind, he's like, man, I don't give a fuck anymore. Like you said, he's already made his money. The only thing that could happen now is you don't got to watch him.
See, but here's the thing, fool. He's changed his mentality. If he was ignorant, like just complete ignorant, why is he keeping up with social medias? Why is he starting a podcast? He's adapting. He has to adapt his mind. Relevant. Well, he's trying to. He has to adapt his mentality too. If you can adapt everything else in your life, why can't you do that?
It goes, like I said, it goes back to. It's like saying, why can't my dad fucking stop thinking the old school Mexican way? That motherfucker's past 50, and in his mind, that's it. Like, I don't give a fuck, you know. So you can't change that. And also, you're going to want to change it. Yeah. You know what I mean? You can't just ask somebody to change it.
The issue with it, too, is, like, it's absolute to him. It's like, no, you should not help other people. It's like, that's not true. Like, I'm thankful that my dad didn't make me be a chip bagger. You know what I mean? Because that's what he used to do. I'm thankful that he made me stay away from grocery, all that shit. Figure something else out. My uncle, I always wanted to work at Car King. He has a mechanic shop in Ontario. But he was always like, nah, fool, you'll never work here. And I would watch my cousins work there, like, as like succession, you know what I mean? Down the line to hand the business off. And I would always have that resentment inside of me where it's like, fool, why didn't you help me out, dog? You know what I mean? Like, I wanted to work here. Like, I grew up here, dude. Simone. But for whatever reason, that shit created who I am today. You know what I mean? They probably aren't happy about the fact that I'm an artist and all this other shit. I want to play music. I want to act or whatever. But it's just like, I don't know. The absolute of not helping people out is bad. Mm-hmm. You know, it really kind of like takes you away from like the connection you have with that person. This fool being like, nah, I don't fucking know that fool. I don't want to know that fool. He hasn't done anything really to get on my radar. I'm George Lopez, dog. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel
that's crazy to me. you know?
Yeah. But you know what's the biggest hypocritical thing about it? Afro's doing that shit for his daughter.
Yeah, and he mentioned that in the podcast where he said that I didn't want to do this for my daughter, but whatever, you know, that he didn't even want to help her out. It's just it's fucking I have respect for you because you like George or whatever. That's some wild shit to say, public.
Yeah. No. I mean, I'm not saying that we shouldn't help each other out. Yeah. I'm just saying that you can't fault somebody for thinking how they want to think. All you could do is don't watch them. Like, don't fucking make them irrelevant then, but don't, like, people are so easy to say, yeah, fuck you, and then, or the cancel culture. That's what it is, cancel culture. And it's like, if I say some shit and that's how I think, cool. I'm not asking you to agree with me. Yeah. I'm just asking you to respect me for what the fuck I said and let me be. Like, if you don't want to listen to me, don't listen to me.
Dog, you're wrong.
No, I'm just saying. Because at the end of the day, it's like when people complain about going to comedy shows. Yeah. When people go, I'm sure you have to deal with this, where people get mad at a joke that you said. And it's like, why the fuck are you coming here if you're going to get mad? Same thing. You don't want to watch it, you don't want to hear it, don't hear him, you know? Yeah. He's not forcing you to hear him. So if you're on this show, if you're on this podcast, it's because you fucking want to listen to this dude, whether you like it or not. Mm-hmm. So stop watching them.
Or you like the guest.
Yeah. It's with that too, it's like there's a certain reward system. You know what I mean? Like, if I go to a comedy show, I'm telling a joke, nobody's gonna say shit. They're gonna be indifferent about what I say. Cause I ain't shit. I'm nothing, foo. But there's a reward in having a stance against George Lopez because he's George Lopez, dog. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And also with George Lopez, there's something is happening with him where there's a reward system for him shitting on upcoming comics. Cause it makes him up higher on this pedestal. Yeah. It's just like the more you do this kind of shit, it's going to come back to bite you. Of course. Now all this shit is kind of packaged together on social media where you'll just get food community like fucking lining all this shit up in one post. Gaslighting. You're like, God damn, fool. Everywhere you go, you know what I mean? Like never support anyone. Like it becomes this whole packaged type thing that can change your perspective of who George Lopez is.
Yeah, of course.
And just like with Joe Rogan saying the N-word, same thing. All these times that he said it, at one time, boom. And we're going to try this as many times as we can to get this fool out of here. Yeah. You know? Yeah. I mean, that's the kind of world we live in now.
Again,
you know?
I'm not saying I'm like, I'm in love with George Lopez. Nah.
Sounding like
it was more
like MAGA guy right now.
I wanted to play devil's advocate. But at the same time, it's
I feel it.
Did he say something that somebody didn't like? Of course. That's fucked up. Who doesn't want to help anybody? But again, it goes down to what we were talking before. Is it his responsibility, like you said, to know everybody in the game?
No, see, that's where it gets kind of fucked up. It's like, well, because, you can go too far when it goes to like, fuck this fool, and he should know all these upcoming Latinos. It's like, nah, that's not going to happen, dude.
Exactly.
Like, I really don't think that's the responsibility of any kind of Latino comic that's bigger than it, or even black comic, Asian comic, white comic, you know what I mean? Yeah. It would be cool to show interest in what's happening, because as somebody that's an open micer, like, that would be fucking dope. Like, for instance, I was on a show with Jesus Trejo. You know Jesus?
Yeah.
And I opened the show, and I went outside to have a cigarette afterwards, and I was like, fuck, dude, I wish I would have done better, whatever. Jesus came and talked to me about all my jokes after the fact. And what he liked, what he didn't like, whatever the fuck the conversation was. And I told him, I was like, I can't believe you're fucking doing this, dude. Like, it means something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially because, like, Jesus Trejo, I think he's hilarious, fool. And so seeing him talk to me about shit that I'm making, and like, it kind of like personifies that conversation I have in my head about his jokes. Where I'm like, where the fuck did this fool come up with this shit? And then now I'm getting a perspective of his on shit that I have a perspective on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that chemistry, like I loved Jesus for a longer time now than I would have before. You know what I mean? And it's just like, what have you done for me lately is definitely an aspect of things. And lately, George Lopez has been like, fuck all you like new comics, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, not just new comics. He says fuck all comics.
Felipe,
he had Paul Rodriguez. And to me, Paul Rodriguez is my favorite comedian of all time. Yeah. I grew up watching this fool. Like,
I thought would bully him, huh? I saw some shit or something like that. They were bullied?
Yeah,
I thought would bully him?
Fucking Carlos Mencia. So I know a lot of people are going to be like, fuck Carlos Mencia. Dude, he was fucking funny at one point. I get it. He did some shit that he shouldn't have done.
That's funny because it was someone else's jokes.
That's hilarious.
But you know what I mean? Like he's had beef with all kinds of fools. And like I told you, it comes down to money. At the end of the day, to be honest with you, it comes down to money. George Lopez might be looking at it as a financial thing, where it's like, fuck that. Like, all these fools are funny. They're going to take my spot. That means my money's going to go away. It comes down to the exclusivity of, I don't want no other Mexicans doing these shows or blah, blah, blah. Because it comes down to money.
Yeah.
And that's the fucked up part, because when you make it about this, then you don't make it about this or this, you know? The heart and the emotion and the wanting to do better things goes out the window.
Money makes the world go around, dog.
Yep.
Remember that shit.
Yeah.
Anyways, dog, before Mike gets us canceled and shit, let's change the subject. Gerardo, tell us a little bit about yourself, man. You're from Highland Park. You're a stand-up comic. You have your podcast.
Mm-hmm.
You produce 2 shows.
Yeah.
So you do all kinds of things, man. Tell us about it.
Yeah, I produce 2 shows. I basically just do podcasting all day long. I try to do stand-up as much as possible now. It's hard because, like, my schedule's kind of fucked now. Because the show is, like, Isimo successful. So, like, I put a lot of time into that. And Raccoon Tweeties is another show I make. Is successful in its own way, in a different way than Isimo, right? And so those 2 things are like I'm kind of like the brains behind it in a sense. So that's basically my whole day, you know what I mean? But I'm from I was born in Redlands.
Oh shit!
And I was raised in Rancho Cucamonga.
Okay.
I lived in Colton first, Rancho Cucamonga with my parents, and then I moved to the Valley for like 2 years, right? I think this is, I don't know, too much information, but I got sober after like moving to the Valley. So it's been 4 years and a couple months now of sobriety. Because I used to drink a lot, do drugs, just bad guy.
Was it Redlands, or what was it like growing up? Just certain things, or?
I don't know. I found weed when I was like 17 years old.
I found weed.
You know what I mean? It found me full. And I don't know. Right after I smoked weed, I fucking started doing acid and like did a bunch of acid all the summer of 2007 or 8 or something like that. I did a shit ton of acid, and then it just like, I don't know, it felt amazing, and like I felt like I was I don't know if relevant's the right word, but like I felt like I mattered in a sense. And I kept hanging out with the homies, had drinking before I was 21 and whatnot. But when I drink, I'm like very aggressive, like a violent drunk, over nothing, fool, And so when I turned, when I was 27 years old, I got sober September 21st of 2018. And that shit, it made, like, dude, I was doing comedy when I was, drinking and smoking weed and shit, you know what I mean? And I was just not funny. I was monotonous, But I was having the time of my fucking life, dude. But everything was like about like, where can I go get cheaper beers? Where can I go get some like weed and shit, Like the last night that I ever smoked was at this place called House of Pong in Claremont. I don't think it's around anymore. Yeah.
It's still there, bro.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, it's still there.
Okay. It is an open mic at House of Pong.
I didn't even know that. They had some good ass food though.
Oh, really? I never tried the food. I had the sake bombs and shit, whatever the fuck they got. They had like this crazy drink. It's like 6 drinks lined up, like little vials. You just like, drink all that shit. Yeah. What's it called? But I remember I went to the Chatterbox, which is the bar in Covina.
Yeah.
And I used to go to the Chatterbox all the time. So like I would just at this specific night, for whatever reason, the homie Steve would just give me free beers. He was the bartender. So I was just drinking beers or whatever. And then I was so focused on like doing my comedy, and like I had this new joke that I was working on. And I completely forgot about this girl that I had asked to come there. Right. And I kind of like didn't do as well as I wanted to, but I knew there was another mic happening at the House of Pong. So I was like, all right, I'll see you guys later, whatever. And she's like, hey, can you check my oil? And I was like, sure. So I go check her oil, whatever. Yeah, it's fine, whatever, And she told me, she's like, I can't see you if you're not sober, right? Because she was sober. I didn't even understand. I couldn't comprehend what sober was.
Yeah.
Whatsoever. I didn't even know AA. I didn't know what AA was. You know what I mean? I remember there's a mic in Riverside, Back to the Grind. And before the mic, there's a sign leading into the basement that said Alcoholics Anonymous. And it looked like it looked like a cave with like a bunch of little gremlins down there and shaking, So I thought these fools would get together and drink alcohol. Like that's what I thought it was. Nothing like that I thought about a lot. It was just a passing thought. Where it was like, oh, these fools are down there drinking at a coffee shop?
Anonymously. What I mean? They just don't tell each other their names.
Yeah. Number 1, number 2. No. And So when she told me that, I was like, all right, I could try it out, you know, all drunk and stoned. And I went to the House of Pong, and this fool Gil, I don't know if you guys know who Gil is. He's another like open mic or stand-up comic. I was like, hey, Gil, I'm trying to work on this joke. Like, you got any weed for you, you know? So he gave me half a blunt, and I'm outside smoking the shit. I'm like, this ain't even my weed, you know what I mean? And then I sat down that night, and I wrote down everything that I've ever done, like drugs-wise, you know? Like, and I had everything listed out, and I'm like, it's so easy for me to remember that shit. It's so hard for me to remember the things around that. And it was like, in a sense, I was just doing shit to get stoned or drunk or drugged up, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that was I think September 20th. And then so September 21st, I went to my first meeting. I was like, I got a fucking chip and shit. And I kept dropping the chip in the meeting. I was like, oh, you know, didn't make sense to me. Everything was so wild. Everything was such a strange change of events in my life, you know? And then from that, I didn't do stand-up for like 3 months. But then after that, like my stand-up got so much better after getting sober. And yeah, it's led me to fucking doing podcasting. I did way back in the day, I used to work at Chipotle. I told you asked me, what do you want to talk about? And I told you that we could talk about Chipotle. Because I could talk about Chipotle all day long, dog. I fucking love Chipotle.
I saw your last episode too, where you guys are talking about things you love. and you guys did a whole thing where you can't say Chipotle at all, the whole episode. So.
Well, every episode we talk about Chipotle somehow, some way. Crazy. But yeah, Chipotle is dope. I used to work at Chipotle for like 2 years, dude. This one, I can't believe it, dog. I worked at Chipotle for 2 years. Yeah, it's just wild. I got fired for not washing avocados at Chipotle. But I washed the avocado. I just didn't wash it the right way, I guess, whatever. Yeah. But it was like they wanted to fire me, but I never had a write-up or anything. Chipotle was like everything. I was gonna only do Chipotle. You know what I mean? At the time, I would play music. And then I would go work, come back home, record some music, you know. That was my whole life at that time. And then I got fired, and the next day, my mom told me about this guy, Mel Austin, that if I wanted to go get coffee with him, he does stand-up comedy. And so, like, me getting fired from Chipotle led me directly into stand-up comedy.
That's crazy.
And then I would work other restaurant jobs after that, but I stopped working in restaurants, and I got a job with Blackstone doing this kind of shit, like lighting and whatnot. And so I learned how to film shit as opposed to just like having an iPhone and like, you know, filming the homies doing stupid shit or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I bought a bunch of equipment, whatever, to do a podcast that I was doing at the time, Josh Rardo. And then that led me into figuring out editing. Like my homie Josh showed me how to edit things. And so like I invested a lot of time in that, especially with the pandemic. When the pandemic first happened, I just sat at a computer all day. When I wasn't playing video games, I was playing so much fucking video games at the beginning of coronavirus that I told myself one day, I was like, hey, I'm going to stop this shit, dude. I got to stop playing video games. What am I doing? Like, I wasn't sleeping. I wasn't getting tired, so I wasn't sleeping. I was just playing fucking the first Warzone over and over again with the homies, like other stand-up people, talking to them and shit, getting mad, like we're not winning games. It's like, none of this fucking matters, dude, you know? And then I sat and I was working on shit all day long. I would just work on one clip every day. So like one clip, just like to figure out the whole workflow. Mm-hmm. And then just like, it was way too intense. Like these first clips I made were just way too much shit happening, but I was like learning all this stuff at the same time. And that led me to just doing Josh Rardo for, I think, almost 3 years, 2.5 years ish, somewhere around there. And then after that, I started doing Isimo. And Isimo was like everything that I learned put together and efficiently produced in a sense. And it became like huge over time. It's not as big as it used to be now, but it's like, it's something that I look forward to doing every week. And that's basically everything about me, food. Like, I just do Isimo. I have a girlfriend. I cook for her, whatever. And I lead a very strange but simple life, you know?
Yeah.
I enjoy comedy. Like, I mean, it's just hard to do everything, you know?
Yeah.
And the comedy scene's different now that after coronavirus. There used to be mics every night. I don't know. Have you guys ever done stand-up?
We're going to, yeah.
Yeah.
We got an invite by Richard Villa. He invited us to do it. So we're probably gonna do it.
I wrote some shit down, so
yeah, he had his
I just
own
gotta
bit.
practice it. So
you just gotta get on stage, food.
That's the hardest part, huh?
Yeah, the first time I got on stage was at a bar in Colton. I forget what the name of it is. Fuck. I told myself I'll never forget that too, but I forget what it was called.
It's not El Toro or
No, I don't think it's around anymore. I want to say Shamrock. I don't think it's Shamrocks though. Some bar in Colton, right? And I got on stage with the Mooney twins. So Paul Mooney's kids, the twins were there. I don't know what I think they're called the Mooney twins. But my homie Titus, I met this guy Titus that night too. But he walked. I don't know if you guys know Titus Jones, but he's a funny comic too. He was like, he walked over to the Mooney twins and said, "Hey, it's his first time doing comedy. You got any notes? You know?" Fucking with me. I didn't know he was fucking with me.
Yeah.
And then they got up and they said, "Take notes, motherfucker." And then they walked.
Do they talk just like his dad?
Yeah. It's basically two Paul Mooneys.
Fuck.
Yeah. But they don't look like them. They had a beard at the time. What's it called? But they walked on stage. They did like an hour at an open mic, dude.
What the fuck?
And I'm sitting there drinking beers or whatever, just watching these fools, and I was like, damn, they're going at it, dude. And then I went on stage after them, and the host, Rick Rome, he gave me like the worst intro. He was like, this guy, you know, it's his first time doing comedy. It can go one of two ways. It could be great.
Took all your bits right there.
Or it could be terrible. You know what I mean? Hopefully it's great, but most of the time it's terrible. Like kept going on and on. And I was like, damn, fool, Jesus Christ.
Did that make you more nervous and shit?
I don't even think I was nervous until I got on stage, and then I realized like what it was. It was like as I'm on stage, I was like, whoa, dude, this is a trip. And I was just silent. I was just like silent on stage. And then I didn't know. I had these jokes that I thought were jokes. You know what I mean? And I went on stage and I was like, oh, what do you guys think about the Lakers, you know? Just like, I didn't have anything about the Lakers. I just said that shit.
Yeah.
And this one cholo ass fool was like, what about the Lakers, fool? And I was like, nothing, they're great. You know, like I just reached out.
What about the Lakers? Like, of all things you could fucking say, right? Like, oh yeah, or like, you know, do the woo, you know, like, no. What about
the Lakers, fool? And then I was just like, I don't know. Kobe's awesome. I remember saying something about Kobe. And then I was like, all right. And then the homie was like, hey, fool, just get off the stage. Because I wasn't saying anything, dude.
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right, that's it for me. And I put it away. And then I went outside to go have a cigarette. I took a picture with Mel, like popping my cherry or whatever for stand-up. And this one big-ass black fool comes outside and he's like, you got to tell jokes, motherfucker. You got to tell jokes. You know?
You can't ask about the Lakers. You're over here fucking ESPN and shit.
You should ask about the Clippers, fool.
That's the real joke? Fuck you, dog.
Right. That's a Clipper fan.
I'm a Clipper fan.
I love Kawhi.
Okay.
But I don't know. I try to be a Clipper fan for the most part. I can't do it. I don't really have like one basketball team that I like. I love basketball.
Okay, same.
Are you a big basketball fan?
Yeah.
I hate football. I don't know if
I'm a big football fan.
You're a big football fan?
Yeah.
I can't do football, dude. I don't know what it is about it. Obviously, like they're just like hitting each other all hard and shit.
Yeah.
It's cool. Like the spectacle of it's cool, but I can't like get into it.
Gotcha.
I can get into basketball. I think it's like the more you know, the better you are acquainted with it.
Yeah, most definitely. I love basketball. I coached it. I played it. So.
Oh, okay.
I've done it all in that aspect. So I had both sides.
I can't play basketball though. No.
I suck at basketball.
Yeah, that's both sides of basketball.
I can post you up.
I played with this, bro. I suck, bro. I played with this fool back in elementary.
Yeah.
And I remember nobody would pass me the ball, dog. I was I was open all the time, but because if I got it and I shot it, I would never air balls. So nobody passed me the ball. And then one time I think you guys did.
And you fucked it up?
And I fucked it up. Like, I think it was like a game-winning point too. I was open, and all I had to do was a layup. Boom, hit the rim. Fuck that. They never put me in again. Fuck that.
You know the funniest thing though? I think it was like, fourth grade? Fifth grade? Fifth grade.
Fifth grade.
Remember you got in a tie? Sixth grade?
I got tossed by a girl. We were playing football.
So that tells you how good he is. That was basketball, fool.
It was basketball. Yeah. I had the ball, and you know how you hold it, and then she tried to take it away from me.
We're not supposed to hold it.
She took that shit away from me. Well, when you just stand and
tossed him.
She tossed me. Yeah, that was fucking.
Tossed him. That shit was funny.
Who was it?
I forgot.
Was it Susie?
No, I forgot who it was, but yeah, that shit.
I think it was Sheena.
Nah, dude.
She's skinny?
Nah, she was. I mean, I'm a short dude, so she was a little bit taller than me.
Torta or?
No.
Okay.
But I mean, she had some muscle in her. You know what I'm saying? I gotta say that. I don't want to be fucking looking like a.
You should not for just lie. She was oversized. She was 6'1",
she was bigger than me.
6'1", sixth grader.
Didn't fucking Susie rock me or somebody playing football too? Remember? I got rocked. Like,
I just say he's not the best at the sports.
Why are you playing sports with women, dude?
Because we played during PE or during fucking.
You know what? You're the perfect advocate for like women in men's sports, dog. it just shows that they can.
Nah. I play soccer, so that's my sport. So
And vice versa, men can play in women's sports like you.
that's fucked up.
They're like, we'll make an exception for Mike.
This fool always out with sports.
He's a 1%.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
The exception.
He's like, hey, full stop. Hey, cut this part out, dog.
Hey, cut this shit out. All right. It's enough fucking... You guys are getting me back for George Lopez.
But yeah, man. So you started doing stand-up. For you, podcasting for us, it means one thing, right? Like, you know, first of all, I want to say, you know, congrats on the sobriety.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
It's a lot, man. I've been down that road where all using alcohol as an escape, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And it's you just get lost in it, and it's fucking hard to come back from it. So kudos on that. Like I tell him, for this is my therapy now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Having conversations, like you said, it changes the perspective of everything going on, hearing people, listening to people's stories. What was it about the podcast world that actually that you liked that made you be like, damn, this is it. This is what I'm gonna dedicate myself to.
I think it's when people start to, bro, like, it's a kind of like it's like a journey type thing, right? When I first did Josh Gerardo, I was doing a voice, hey, hello, my name is Gerardo, you know?
Yeah.
And I would rationalize that in my mind where, you know, like my parents, I always watch them code switch and shit. You know what I mean? Like they'll be with the family talking all like this, like Mexican and shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then when I would go with my dad to work, when he worked for Frito-Lay, he'd be very like eloquent and like trying to speak right in a sense, but they always let loose when they're with the family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I always thought that was like how I let loose. I don't know. It's a weird thing, right? But it wasn't my own voice. Like that's not what I'm second or first generation Mexican, you know?
Yeah.
So like, when it came to Isimo, I dropped all that shit and like just talked and like shared shit that I never thought I would want to share, you know? And that's what got me into podcasting. It made you realize that nothing's that big of a deal. You know, you have this conversation with yourself. I have voices in my head. No, like you tell yourself like, nah, fool, you should be ashamed of that forever. You know, nobody does that shit, dude. Like you feel special in a sense, but you're not really, like the more you find out that you're not special is way more comforting. It's like, oh, I'm just like everyone else, you know? And that's what really drove me with podcasting. Like I told this story, and this is like the biggest bump of anything I've ever seen, like views or whatever. I told the story about this girl when I was 19. We used to play vampires with each other, right? Like she would like, it was a stupid little game we played where she would like suck my neck and shit. You know what I mean?
Giving you hickeys and shit.
Yeah. No, like
that's like fucking role playing, dog. That's kinky shit.
But we would act like vampires, food. You know what I mean? Like that's the whole thing. This was like, who the fuck is this?
Twilight was in at that time.
That's true. So I told that story and all these fucking comments, everyone being like laughing and shit, you know, whatever. And I didn't even know that side of either TikTok or Instagram where people were sharing hickeys and shit. And I was like, what the fuck?
Oh, they started sharing hickeys?
Everyone's no, but there was already stuff already there. You know,
I thought
it was a trend
or some shit. Vampire season or some shit.
But that shit, you know, I had bigger videos than that, but that one was like, it's strange to say now, right? But I was ashamed of that somehow. I was like, it was a strange time in my life, right? I was in college or whatever, studying theater and dating this one chick that already had a boyfriend. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Sancho.
Yeah, I guess I was a Sancho. I guess the boyfriend.
Say that shit proudly, bro.
But see, like the shedding of the skin in a sense is what podcasting did for me. Breaking my shell that I thought that I had already broken when I went to college. Because when I was in high school, I was like very dude. I was a loner, dude. Just like not talking to any. I was doing theater, and theater was like a new thing for me. I was like, what the fuck? This is dope. I went to drama class. The first drama class I took was in junior year, and I tried out for the first play. I was like, whatever, dude, you know. And I got a part, and I was like, what the fuck, dude? You know, this is like a whole new world to me. I was like, this is what I'm supposed to do. You know, you're young, things are so intense and shit. And then it was like a 26-person play, so I was like, yeah, they had to give me a part. You're always telling yourself these things that make you less than, you know what I mean? Yeah. And so like I was like, yeah, I got the part because it's 26 people, whatever. And then the next play, Rumors, I auditioned for, and there was only 10 people in it. I was like, Zachary Green's gonna get the part, dude. I know it. This guy, he's so good.
The fucking name says it all, man. Fuck. Fucking Zachary Green.
This guy's like Gerardo, but just more. You know what I mean? He's just a lot better, you know? And then so I was auditioning. I was like, I'm gonna give him my best though, dog. You know what I mean? And so I auditioned, I did my best, whatever, and I got the part. And I was like, what the fuck, fool? It's happening again, dog.
Take that shit, Zachary Green.
Fuck you, dog. No, he's cool. He's cool. But I remember that he was upset about that, that I got a part. That it was a small part too. It's just like being a part of the play. I felt like a varsity football player. You know what I mean? So that was like, I don't know, that kind of shit. It was a different thing for me. I learned how to play guitar when I was in 9th grade. You know, but that's all I really did with myself. It's just like play guitar. Like that's it. You know. And that was like my first kind of act of defiance in a strange way, because I told my mom, like, I want to learn how to play guitar because her brother Pancho made me play this one thing. It's called the Nasty Sex by La Revolución de Emiliano Zapata. It's just like a Mexican ass version of Creedence, Clearwater CCR.
Okay.
And so it's just like, it's like a super easy riff. And I remember having the time of my fucking life with my Uncle Pancho. And so I told my mom, I want to learn how to play guitar. I don't give a fuck what I have to do. I'll fucking mow the lawn, do all this shit, whatever, to go get lessons. Like, I need it, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And so I did that, and she was like telling me no. And I was like, no. I don't think you understand. I don't think you get it, girl, you know?
Yeah.
Telling her, like, I'm going to play guitar, you know? And I don't know if she was proud of me or what, that I was trying to make this stance about things, but I needed to do that, you know?
Yeah.
And then that same energy I just kept with everything else. They didn't like that I fucking did guitar. They didn't like that I did theater, because they wanted me to be, I don't know, you want me to be a doctor, fool? Like, I'm not going to be a good doctor, dog. You know what I mean?
You wouldn't want to go to music.
No. Talk to my physics teacher, fool. Like, you don't want to see me making rocket ships and shit, you know? Like, that fool. And yeah, that's just, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to do, but like, this shit feels good. Like, podcasting makes me feel normal. Okay. Is the way I like to put it, you know? You
know what's crazy right now? It just hit me when he was talking about the guitar and how he felt. Literally everybody we've had, even if, you know, a lot of them have been directly like in the industry of art, like theater, movies or whatever, music, literal art. But fuck how important it is and shit for everybody in some sort of way.
I think it's because you're allowed to express yourself in the best way or in your truest self. Because it's just like at the event last night, and shout out to Chicano Hollywood and everybody that made that event, put it together. People were asking me, so how did you guys start a podcast? Why did you, like, how long have you guys been on? And questions like that. And it was just like, I was telling them, I was like, damn, I used to, because I do photography, and I was always behind the camera. And I used to always say, I've told you this, I never envisioned myself being in front of a camera. I didn't feel like I was going to be able to be me, or like if I was going to have the courage. Yeah. And now it's like, fuck, I love this. It's like, I'm me. I'm always doing what I do, and I don't mind it. So it allows me to express and be who I want to be. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Without having to be fake, without having to do the voice. Like, I used to think, I have to do this, like these voices, like, hey, what's up, everybody? You know, like, you know how. And I was like, no, that's not fucking me. Yeah. You know, it's like, fuck that. So I think it goes back to being able to express yourself. Yeah. So. Well, with art, I mean, what would culture be without art?
That's true. That's a good point.
You know, art is a driving factor of culture. Like, if you want to create a culture, you have a song, you have content that you talk about, whatever it is, like the community is going to talk about, right? True. And then you also have like pictures to represent who we are. And these are all aspects of art. You know, podcasting could be, I said the content thing because it's like, that's what podcasting is, I think. Yeah. You know, like you're relating to people in your fucking tribe and shit, you know? Yeah. And music is like, oh, this is me, dog. Like this, whatever the fucking bass and the guitars do. I wish I had that brain that didn't know what was happening. Like, this is what I am. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It represents you in a strange way. And all these things, like I always say, it's like something that makes me feel normal in a sense, you know? Yeah.
That's dope.
And I've been thinking about this a lot too, because I do this show, Raccoon Tweeties, and we have a segment called 10 Minutes of Shab, right? and this is the thing that's like going crazy, whatever, online, all this stuff. But we do a song before the show, like a cover song, but just mix the lyrics.
Oh, you guys play it?
Yeah, I play it, and then my homie sings it, basically. And it's just like it's the culture. It's like we use lines that are said online for these songs to create a culture and get you ready for whatever's about to happen. Listen, I'm too far into the weeds with this shit like that. That's the artistic mentality of it. But like when you're seeing it, you're just seeing some fools make a song and you're watching some fools talk about something, right?
Yeah.
But in my mind, it's like I don't know. It makes you feel as if what you're doing is important, I guess. I don't know, for lack of a better term, but like you feel as if you should be here. It's like, oh, I like this, and it's just things that you like back to back to back. But like, I don't know what things would be like without art, you know?
Yeah, most definitely. You know, it's crazy. You just gave me like nostalgia like crazy right now with all these things you're saying right now. Well, one of my professors in Castle Fullerton, it was like a political science class, right? And before class, every time she would play a song and we'd go over the lyrics. And thinking about it now, excuse me, I was like, damn, I should have paid attention, like taking it back, because, you know, I understand now the point she was trying to make, you know, and just kind of, like he said, talking about the culture. I remember we tackled about Vietnam War, the songs at the time, you know, and things like that. So that's crazy.
Yeah.
I wish I could go back.
I think about that a lot because I'll watch videos of people playing music, and like I was watching, because this last week I just did Smashing Pumpkins, 1979.
Oh, that's a dope song.
We covered it and changed the lyrics or whatever. I was watching, what's his name? Billy Corgan play it live on an acoustic guitar, because that's what I was going to do, is acoustic. And watching him play it and singing it and watching the crowd shots, all this, like everything that goes into that, first of all, is crazy, right? Like the fact that there's all these cameras set up, like setting up for everyone, the moment that's happening then, you know? Yeah. And the fact that everyone in the crowd knows the fucking lyric, right? Like, obviously it's a great song, but if you take that away from that, you're just watching some dude like sweating on stage, like feeling the shit and singing it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And for a moment, he's not who he is outside of the stage. He's something that represents other people, you know?
Yeah.
And that shit's crazy to me, dude. Like, not that I'm doing that whatsoever with what I do. Maybe with podcasting, people like me because I say things that they're like, oh, I thought that too. Whatever it is, right? Which is like probably I don't want to say like the dumbest form of art, because it is necessary, I think. Because I search for podcasts all the time, you know? Yeah. And it's something that makes me feel, and like I said, the fact that I'm not special. Like that's the most important thing. That we're all kind of alike, you know? Mm-hmm.
It's funny because we get made fun of. People in the podcast world. Yeah. I don't know if you hear it all the time. Oh, here's another podcast of a bunch of dudes just talking, you know, talking shit. Like, that's like the most common misconception, you know? Like, we try to go deeper. We're just keeping it real. Like you said, we're nobody special in this. Well, we're all somebody. Let me take that back. But we're nobody special. We're no celebrities. We're nobodies in the artistly world.
One of the things that we've always said is we want to keep it real. So a lot of the compliments that we've gotten is people say, oh, shit, I feel like I was there chilling with you guys. That's what we want, because at the end of the day, it's just like us three right now. We're having a conversation about everything and nothing at all. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Because nothing. What I mean by that is, like you said, it's really basic stuff that we're all doing that anybody does. You know? Yeah. But at the same time, it relates to everybody. So, I think you when you said it is the lowest form of art, I don't see it that way, because we're communicating. Yeah. You know what I mean? And the communication, like you said, it's
a dying art too. It's a dying art.
It's folklore, you know, like that's how our cultures, not just ours, but cultures survive storytelling. And this is in some way a form of storytelling. Yeah. So that's
add it to the resume, dog. Author.
Shit, I'll start making on my own fucking.
You know what? But I want to go back, bro, because when you were talking about, you know, the 1979 and that performance, there's one song, dog, that always gets me, bro, and I just get lost in the fucking.
Smashing Pumpkins?
No, I just get lost in the lyrics, and I don't know where the hell I go. It's oh my god, it's the Hurt, Johnny Cash. Yeah. Hurt, the remake he did by 9 Inch Nails. Have you heard it?
No.
Bro.
I hurt myself today. You ever heard that?
No, I've heard that one. No, but I'm saying I haven't heard of the.
Oh, the live version?
No, the remix. You said the 9 Inch
Johnny Cash. No, Johnny Cash remade it.
9 Inch wrote the song. Yeah. Trent Reznor wrote the song, and then Johnny Cash did it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've heard the song. Okay.
Yeah. Bro, and he was in his 70s, 80s when he sang it, and you could just hear the pain. Like you can literally feel everything that he's talking about. Like you just
I
hear
think the Red Hot Chili Peppers do that to me, like especially Under the Bridge.
Under the Bridge.
That's probably one of my favorite songs.
Dude,
Yeah,
the song
I'm gonna
is
go see them.
amazing. Yeah,
I'm taking my daughters to go see them in Vegas, April 1st.
I don't give a fuck what you say, dog, but their new shit is terrible.
Yeah.
Dude.
There's one song that I like.
There's one
Yeah,
song.
nah.
I've done this before where somebody will say there's one song and I'm like, tell me what it is right now, and we play it and I'm like, this fucking, and then I'll play Under the Bridge and be like,
come on, you can't compare it to Under the
But
Bridge.
you know, but here's the thing. Under the Bridge was his story too.
That's what I'm saying.
It was his story about with his addiction,
Yeah.
like what he was going through. So that's sounds like that, bro. Like when you're telling your story, like you say, you're painting a picture. That's the powerful stuff.
yeah.
Because
So
we can
what
all
was the name
relate
of
to
that
it.
song that? Black Summer. There you go.
Okay, then I'm glad you didn't say a different song.
No.
but
Black Summer is probably the best song on that album, the new one. Yeah.
Okay.
The other shit was kind of whack. I was like, what the fuck?
Dude. Lickety Split or some shit like that. What the fuck? Stupid ass song.
Yeah,
No, but listen, I love the Chili. It comes from a place of love, right?
Yeah.
I saw them in 2006
That's
with
dope.
the Mars Volta.
Okay.
You're just holding them to a higher standard, huh?
No, that's. I don't think it's holding them to a higher standard. That's how bad the album is, dog. It's just like
I haven't listened to the whole album. I just
this shit was whack. I was the only reason why, Black Summer is pretty dope. Like,
Okay.
But they performed it when they first brought out the album. I think they did Jimmy Kimmel, and they did it at the roof in one of the LA rooftops.
yeah.
And so I was like, oh, that's a I thought that was the first song I heard. I'm like, if this is the song, imagine the rest of the album. And then you fucking listen, you're like, come on.
So they do, dog. They tease you. They give you a little piece of the good one. That's it.
So I'm looking forward to seeing them, just because obviously nostalgia, and they're gonna perform the other songs.
Yeah.
And I'm just glad that my daughters are into Red Hot Chili Peppers, because it's weird, you know what I'm saying? Like they're teenagers and they're like, yeah, we love this. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, dude.
They love a lot of the shit that I love from growing up. So
Yeah, Under the Bridge is a iconic song.
Yeah.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
I've cried to that one. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, well,
I've cried.
I mean, you listen to that thing at the right moment, anyone will cry, dude.
Yeah.
You know?
That's what I'm talking about with the hurt, like Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
Like that one, bro. Every time it just like it just cuts you deep in shit.
Johnny Cash is my daddy, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably a wrong way of putting it, but
Tell us about that shit.
well, he liked to have sex. And my mom was a horn dog. Just kidding. No, I'm playing. No, Johnny Cash, though, the one that gets me is Green Green Grass of Home. I stepped off of the train, or as I step off of the train, and there's my mama and my papa there to see me.
Damn, I haven't heard it.
Dude,
I'm not gonna lie, I don't listen to a lot of Johnny Cash. There's only a couple songs that I listen to. But
I lost respect for you. No, so,
no, it's only because I grew up in a straight Mexican household, dog.
yeah.
Like,
Well, that makes more sense
if
to
you tell
listen
me
to
those
Johnny
bookies, if you tell me those
those
bookies,
yeah.
I'll tell you fucking
Yeah.
Los Tigres del Norte.
Yeah.
I know all them fucking
Oh,
songs.
yeah.
So.
Is there a Spanish song though that gets to you? Like, damn. Like
Old school?
hits. Any, old or new. Well, don't bring out the Grupo Firme shit right now.
No. I think I've always said, like, I wasn't a Juan Gabriel fan growing up, but as I got older, like, his songs are like, what the fuck?
yeah.
So
He sings it with emotion too.
Exactly.
Like, he sing,
Juan Gabriel,
well, I mean, everybody
Joan
does,
Sebastian.
but
you know, John Sebastian.
Chente.
I'm not really a Chente fan like that.
Oh,
Bro.
I'm an Antonio Aguilar type of dude.
okay.
Okay.
So, you know what I'm saying? He's an old school dude, too.
Yeah.
And I think Antonio Aguilar, early Los Tigres del Norte.
But
music.
is there a song though? That's hard for me too.
He's like, actually, I've never cried full, so no, there's not a song.
No. Actually, Pancho Barraza.
Which one?
La de Mi enemigo es el amor. You never heard
You
it?
gotta sing it fully.
No, I don't fucking sing. I don't have a voice like this fool, but...
Oh, stop it.
No, it goes, es va como, es... Y por amor.
Oh, I know why you don't sing.
That's fucked up, guys.
You thought I knew the song? Huh? Oh,
Whatever.
I know which one.
He's like this.
That one?
No. That one,
Well, that's
Mi
one of his
enemigo es el
classics.
amor. It's esa y la de Mariposas. He sings it.
Mariposa? No.
That's
sings
Maná,
it.
no? Mariposa.
No,
Oh.
way, not Mariposa Traicionera. It's... I don't
almost
want to
said
say it because I fucking suck.
Y
and I
las
always make fun.
mariposas. That one?
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Juan Gabriel, the one that gets me is No Vale la Pena.
Oh, okay.
That one is fucking sick. Dude.
Yeah.
La Farsante.
La Farsante is cool too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
That's like if you're fucking angry.
yeah.
You're drinking.
Nah,
like,
bro.
Fuck you, bitch. Yeah.
No, like he said, that one.
Huh?
That one's it. I wish I would have got to see him too, dude.
Oh yeah.
I wish I would have had a chance to see him.
That's yeah.
That's what I think now with all the old school people coming back now. Like they figured out like the formula, like these fools get clout and like they
no shit,
they sell out shows.
Like
the Wookiees are doing another tour. You know, last year was supposed to be the only one, but now they're doing it.
Didn't they have that big ass fucking concert?
Yeah. The one at Dodger Stadium.
Yeah.
Bésame Mucho.
Yeah, Bésame Mucho. And they had all the old school.
All those.
I want to go to that shit too.
Yeah.
But now, I forgot what my point was. That
you said about songs.
No vale la pena.
Yeah, but after about the old school fools.
You were saying about having the ultimate
Juan Gabriel. You wanted to see Juan Gabriel.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Like now I'm gonna take advantage. I'm gonna fucking try to see all these fools.
Yeah, dude. Juan Gabriel. That's why I don't eat that much steak, because that fool left us too early. You know what I mean?
Because of steak.
I don't think it's not just steak food. It's the health.
Yeah, all right. I was gonna say fuck. I'm already unhealthy and shit.
I can't eat steak.
I don't know why I think like that though. I think like I'm like Juan Gabriel. Damn, another victim to steak, homie. That's just how I think. I don't know why.
And he did before. He had a concert the next day or something, right? You're in LA.
Yeah.
That's right. And he
passed away. My girlfriend says that she was gonna take her mom to go see him. You know what I mean? And he died right before that. I was like,
that's crazy.
I didn't know about his music until maybe like a year and a half ago.
Really?
I'm sure I heard the songs, you know.
Growing up?
Yeah, growing up. And the other thing too is like my grandpa passed away in 2020 January, right? And like suddenly didn't expect it, whatever, before COVID and all this stuff. And that shit fucked me up. And then like, cause like I was really close to my grandpa, you know? Mm-hmm. And that's why I got this right here, the Alarcon with 40-20, because he's born in 40, died in 20. And what's it called? And my name is Alarcon. That's why the Alarcon. Yeah. And he's from Durango. So
okay.
Yeah.
But I told my grandma, I was like, you know, what are the songs that my grandpa listened to, you know? And she gave me like a rundown, like, okay, listen, you got a minute, you know what I mean? And sat me down. But she didn't speak English. She spoke only Spanish.
That sounded like Tony Montana, dog. I was like, damn. So it sounded like Scarface and shit. Your grandma's over here with Scarface, dog.
She was Al Pacino.
Yeah. Say hello to my...
That's what
Say hello to my favorite playlist. But yeah, she gave me a bunch of songs. And every single song, I was like, oh, I know this song, you know. And the one that gets me now is... Un puño de tierra.
Ramon Ayala?
Yeah, Ramon Ayala. And the reason why is because my grandpa would always listen to that shit. I remember him fucking like all passionate about it and shit. And now it's like a different meaning because, you know, he's gone like suddenly too. Yeah. You know? So that one gets me, Un puño de tierra, you know?
That's how I feel with oldies. Yeah. Like my dad grew up on oldies and always bumping oldies. On Spanish too, but oldies was like the thing, oldie cars, and now like that's why they mean so much to me. Like just the other day, a song came on. Oh, Memories of Amani. Remember, I was like, you were telling that's my dad's song right there. Like, and it just gives you a different feel, and it's you know it's it's a good thing.
Ramon Ayala got me through when I was stationed in Japan.
Oh wow.
We used to because that was my first time being away really from home.
Yeah.
I was in the military, and when I got over there, I was like, "Fuck!" Like,
don't lie, dog. You're a Paquita del Barrio fan.
Nah. Fuck that. I mean, she don't seem bad, but she be talking shit about man. Fuck that, you know.
He's like,
that shit, dog. Like, have you ever been dedicated to a Paquita del Barrio song?
No, and in Japan, they would know what you're talking about, dog. Who cares?
No, in Japan, it was cool because all the homies get together. Like, it was a different vibe. All the raza got together, you know, and we used to have parties on the weekends, and
that's because George wasn't in that group, dog. And not.
No, it was crazy though because we had like I was telling you, like we had it was almost like if we were still in a gang.
Yeah,
we had the south, like the base was divided into a north side and a south side base, and it was literally
so like prison and shit.
No, it was just the north side
norteños.
No, it's just north side of base and south side of base. But we literally the south side we were the south siders.
Yeah,
and we used to throw parties. Well, I have pictures and shit where we would plant the Mexican flag, and then all the homies would come through. And we lived in the barracks, so we couldn't cook. So we got all the like the higher ups that had housing. Their wives would cook the beans, the rice for us, and they would bring. We would buy the carne and we would have carne asadas, but we would be bumping Ramon Ayala, fucking, and everybody's just bonita finca de adobe, puño de tierra would come out. All the homies be crying, drinking and shit. So yeah, Ramon Ayala got me through.
I'm telling you, dog. fucking us Mexicans, we just play it off, fool.
Yeah.
But deep down, we're fucking emotional, fucking
No,
llorones, way.
Yeah.
We've never been heartbroken, but Ramon Ayala does something to us, dog.
You ever start doing this shit where like the tears are coming up, but you keep lifting your head down?
You want him to go back in the eyes?
Nah, you crying, fool? Nah, fool.
No, I suffer from dry eyes. Fool. This is a rare occurrence where my eyes are not dry, dog.
That's what the commercial. Hey, this is where we insert that ad, dog, for clear eyes. You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, it's crazy shit, man.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I think like just art in general, music specifically. Like I think it's the feeling that it gives you because it reminds you of certain things. That's the biggest factor of it, I think.
Yep.
Well, I think some people write songs like kind of like Vic was saying. Remember, most of his songs were from heartbreak, and it's obviously emotion. So when you have, I think the best songs are the angry songs and the emotional songs. Because when you do happy songs, they're cool, but it's just something about that emotion.
Like that fool said, dog. Pharrell killed it, dog. He made a song about happiness called Happy.
Yeah, that's true.
And he killed it. That's like the only one and shit, but yeah.
But I mean, happy
music.
Happy songs are cool, but I think the emotional ones are the ones that, like, especially because when you go through some shit and it relates, you bump that shit and you just fucking te vale madre, you know? Okay.
Yeah, my favorite happy songs are even sad. You know what I mean? Like, there's one called Salad Days by Mac DeMarco. And the Salad Days is a concept of, like, you know, before you made it big. The Salad Days is like the appetizer. It's like before the main course, which is your career, in a sense. So the whole thing's about, like, him making it through it, the Salad Days, in a sense.
Yeah.
And it's a very happy song, but very good. Like, you know, minor chords or whatever, just, like, still sad, you know?
I gotta listen to that shit.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty dope.
Mac DeMarco, you know Mac DeMarco or no?
No.
Fucking sick ass fool. He's a Mexican at heart, I think.
Oh, yeah?
The way he makes music, yeah.
He does the
What? You're all right, guys? Someone get this for water.
Nah, boo, last night I heard everybody doing the gritos.
Yeah.
And it reminded me that, you know, Food's Gone Wild is probably one of my favorite meme pages.
Yeah.
Right? Shout out to Food's Gone Wild. I don't want to be on that shit for the wrong reasons, okay? So don't fucking post me.
You're already a food gone wild, dog.
Already a Food Gone Wild.
We put a camera in front of your face, y valió madre.
Look at it closely.
Did you see the one where they posted those two fools doing the grito?
No.
And it's just, they're terrible, dog. I was like, yeah, not everybody should do the grito. You can't, if you can't do it, don't fucking do it. But when you get drunk,
that's why I don't do it, dog.
Yeah, I've done it, but I gotta be fucked up.
Yeah, my favorite thing to do is a terrible grito, though.
Yeah?
Like, especially in a public place.
Yeah.
Damn. Well,
Nothing catches the eye like a horrible grito.
I'm not a hot girl, but I'll turn heads full. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh!
Like it was having a fucking seizure stroke or some shit over there.
Or the one that doesn't end too, like, oh.
That sounds more like a porno.
For real. That's what I was saying. Public place. No wonder people are gonna turn around.
It's like those fake.
That's Food's Gone Wild right there.
What?
The grito.
I was gonna say like the pornos where the girls are just going, yeah. You're like,
nobody's asking a question, but she just keeps saying yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck?
I used to have a joke, and it does not do well. And if I do it right now, it's not going to do well. But this joke is like, I like having sex with Latinas, but I don't like when they tell me how to do it, you know, especially when they don't speak English or whatever the operative thing is. And then it's just like that, like that, like that, like that, like that, like all like that. Like that.
What are you doing? I just like, nah, that's it.
Or how they like it.
Oh yeah, like that.
But what's that? What the Asian one though?
What?
The one, freaking.
Me so horny?
No.
What the fuck?
What is it?
You're talking about me so horny?
Is it Me Love You Long Time?
Oh,
or
yeah,
something?
Me Love You Long Time. That's from what's that fucking movie? Full Metal Jacket.
But that one just took off with that shit on. Like,
Yeah. Well,
Oh yeah.
that shit fucking stood the test of time.
I think because Two Live Crew used to use some.
Oh,
of
that's
those
right.
shits
They did, huh?
on their songs.
On their songs,
so,
yeah.
You know, Two Live Crew, you gotta be fucking crazy to hear that.
True.
Pretty dope music, bumpy and shit, but
Those were wild.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Food's Gone Wild back in the day. Yeah.
Hey, but actually, they're pretty much like pioneers, though. Dog. If they really think about it, of that
Yeah.
sound,
Yeah.
that type of music. Well, actually, one of the first actual hip hop groups to really take off, right?
Well, I don't know if they took off. I think you have to like really be into their music. Like you said, they talk a lot about.
But that was the 80s. Full member hip hop in the 80s was.
They were the 80s? I thought they were 90s.
Oh, maybe I'm just tripping.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just wrong. Maybe I just need to get off this fucking. What was that supposed to?
Who?
Oh,
you're singing the song? Hey, there we go. Shit, we start singing up in here. Hey, there you go. We're gonna have open mic for singers, comedians. If you want to come through, fuck it.
Man, we got sidetracked though.
Open mics are the worst thing of all time, dude. Yeah. Have you guys been doing open mic?
Nah.
Keep it that way, fool. If you're at an open mic and not performing, you're doing something wrong with your life.
Okay.
You know what I mean? If you ever find yourself at an open mic when you're at a restaurant or something,
leave.
Get the fuck out of there, dude.
That bad?
Oh, fool. No, I mean, listen, it could be good. Like, that's the thing. They're just, you don't know what to expect. You know what I mean?
I think that's what happened to Juan. I shouldn't have even gone there. He was at a steakhouse eating a steak and a fucking open mic happened.
No vale la pena.
What I did that.
You started this.
I did.
That shit's fucked up, though. Honestly. I mean, I cannot stress this enough. I tell people this all the time. Do not be at an open mic unless you're performing at it. I don't give a fuck if the last comic is performing for nobody, dog. It's not worth it, blood. Do not go to open mic.
Why?
It's just, you don't know what you're going to get, dog. And then I've seen the craziest things I've ever seen in my life have been at open mics. You know what I mean?
Like, what do you mean? You got to spill some tea, dog.
Chingazos or something? Like, people getting fights or what?
I've seen people get in fights, but also just like, just the fact that it's going to happen, like that constant feeling of like, oh, something's about to happen right now. Food, like always, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's not, it can't be healthy for you, dude. You know what I mean?
It's like being at Rude Dogs, fool.
That's true. You know this. We were like people were getting kicked out left and right.
That's fucking fights. That happened at an open mic, not at Rude Dogs, but across or down the street from Rude Dogs. Fool, this, I swear to God, dude, this fool like cracked his head on the cement outside of Rude Dogs. Like, and you could hear it from fucking Bread and Barley where I was at. Dog, crazy, just like smack, and we're looking at it because it's like a commotion outside, and just. And you hear that shit from down the street. Damn. Yeah, that kind of shit right there.
They do open mic at Bread and Barley?
Not anymore.
Oh, okay.
This is 2017, 2016.
Okay.
Trump got elected in...
Valió madre? Yeah, because I still go there. Sometimes I was like, damn, I didn't even know they did open mic.
Yeah. Bread and Barley was dope. I love that room. It's like a, on and off kind of a good or bad type thing.
Is it better to go... like in the first segment, or is it better to go at the end?
Not go at all, dog.
Go up?
Yeah.
It depends on what you want. Do you want laughs, or do you want to get better? Or, like, do you want to just have a good time? Like, you have to know what you want. You know what I mean? Like, same thing with with everything, But which is the segment you have at the end. But like with open mics, I prefer going up first, biting the bullet. They say. Okay. Just like, fuck it, foo.
Get it over with.
I don't got to deal with other people's fucking shit that go up before me. It's the hardest spot. You know what I mean? You're setting the vibe, whatever it is. And do your best, and live with the result, really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got to take that in consideration because I feel like...
if you're going for the first time, I would go up like
last?
Middle.
Fool, they haven't even opened the mic up yet, dog. Just go up there.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Nobody, fucking when they're setting up, barely die.
Also, but not even about when you go up, but my number one piece of advice for anyone trying to start comedy, dog, is just don't have any expectations.
Okay.
That shit's gonna fuck you up. Focus on your jokes. Don't you're gonna probably hear my voice later in life when you're doing an open mic. Just, dog, whatever the fuck is making you upset, just forget about it. It's going to happen. You're going to be upset about something, especially at open mics.
Okay.
That's how fucking terrible they are. They're just bad.
That's fucking...
It's like, fool, all right, so you sign the paper, you're up 6th, but you don't go until you're 17th. That's going to drive you crazy. You know what I mean? Because you're getting ready to go up 6th, but it's all fucked. You know what I mean? Everything's fucked. The homies are coming through, whatever, right?
Yeah.
So they put people up and shit. That shit is going to drive you crazy. And then they'll act like, hey, fool, why are you being crazy? This is how it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They'll make you feel like the crazy person. You know what I mean? That's just always going to happen. It's always been like that, always will be like that, no matter what. Right. When you start to become a homie and stuff, then you start to feel those kind of same luxuries afforded to you. Okay. And that's just how it is. It's all about friends getting friends shit,
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Okay.
That's why I don't got no friends, homie. I like being mad.
The more you know.
Yeah, the more you know.
Yeah, we got sidetracked. I want to go back to you a little bit about your podcast.
Yes, sir.
You've been doing it for some time now. What's next for you guys? What are you gonna? I know that you say you just love doing it. What do you have with it coming up, or is there anything you're gonna try to do now? Or
Yeah, we do. We're doing live shows. So we did our first live podcast on January. I forget what day exactly, but in January we did our first live podcast, and in March we're doing our second. And I would like to get the workflow to where that's possibly weekly, if not in like a year or two, kind of thing.
that's pretty hard, huh?
It's hard, like as in dope, or hard as in like it's going to be difficult to do.
It's difficult. I just feel like it's difficult.
Gonna be difficult,
yeah.
100%. It is a difficult task to kind of, but like, you know, you aim for the stars, land on the moon type thing.
Yeah.
So like, I would like to make it weekly. If it's just monthly, that's fucking dope too. But it adds a different aspect to the show. The show itself, I wanted to just continue doing what we're doing, tour with it somehow, eventually in the future. That's my main goal. The whole thing about podcasting is I got into it so that I can get better at stand-up. So I would like to tour doing stand-up.
Like, damn. So like, what do you mean? It's for your stand-up. Like, it just makes you more comfortable in front of the mic, or
Yeah, the most important thing in stand-up is to find your voice. So like, the more you talk, the closer you are to it, in a sense. So that's what the main function of podcasting was to begin with Josh Gerardo or whatever, and now it's grown into like just like being able to talk. You know, just that's it. You know, I don't know if you guys know Jesus Sepulveda. Yeah, so he came on our show, and I worked with him on something we worked together, and the way he does stand-up is really cool, and it's just like being able to talk is the number one thing. When you see him on a podcast, it's the same thing. He's like the best one in the room because
he has one with Jerry What is it?
Oh yeah, American Illegals.
Yeah,
with Jerry Garcia. Yeah,
Jerry Garcia.
But having him on our show, I was like, damn. See, like this fool knows how to talk. He knows how to command a room. Those things become important when it comes to stand up. And you know, he has all the success right now. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's just the main driving factor of podcasting for me is to go to see who I'm talking to in person. You know.
That's interesting because I think same thing. Initially, being like when we started with just mics and a laptop and shit, like I would still get nervous and I would fuck up all the time. And then we started adding cameras, and even up until recently, maybe a couple of weeks ago, I started finally feeling comfortable. Yeah. Like, you know, like I don't even notice.
Yeah, no, because I saw that change with your intros.
Right.
Like this one thing is he's a WWE fucking welcome to the stage, or like I think he worked at a fucking strip club at one point because the way he introduces guests now, it's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I didn't know this fool had it in him, but yeah. So I got you. Yeah.
So thanks for stealing my shine, dog.
No, I was fucking saying.
I'm making it about you.
No, I was fucking saying, no, I saw the change.
I know, I'm not messing with you. I'm just fucking with you.
Damn.
I'm fucking with you.
Yeah,
always trying to bring me down, dog. This is why I don't want another fucking Latino on here. I'm fucking with you. No, but yeah, it's just like you said, and I think it is important. We all need to find our voice in some say, whatever way that is, you know. But I think I'm finally starting to get comfortable. Even like we talked about last time when we had 5 mics, you know, you talked about having 6 people in the room and for it being hard. We had 5, and you know, these are people that are on TV shows, on Netflix and movies, and I felt comfortable. I didn't feel nothing at all, and it was like, damn, like I think that was my breaking point where I was like, okay, cool, I'm starting to fucking finally start feel a little rhythm, feel comfortable, where it's like, okay, whatever. Yeah. So open mic, you're next.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's gonna be fucking whole new challenge, huh?
Oh yeah, it'll be challenging, but it's fun. I don't know if because you know when I started doing open mics, it was just like fun to like go to Denny's with the homies, Norm's with the homies afterwards, and shoot the shit, get into trouble here and there, you know, having fun. No real strings attached, really. I had no girl or like anything really. Just did no job of handling my business on the side, and then going to do open mics. Everything led to the fucking mic that night, which is different in the pandemic. After the pandemic, rather, it's like I don't know. At least Gerardo's not a part of it. You know what I mean? But I don't know if that's still out there. I think it is, but I have a lot more stuff now, dude. You know, like I got this show that I have to put out. You know, I don't have to, but it's like a challenge for me to put it out every week. You know, on top of the other show I put out every week. And then finding time in between all that to go do stand up. Now it's become more like mechanized in a way where it's like I have to go do it at this time. You know what I mean? Where can I go up right here at this time? Now I got to pay $5, you know? Because if I want a certain time, there's mics where you can go at a time and you know you're going to go at that time, you know? So like paying $5 to go to a mic, now that's like a cost. As you know, I got rent, I got all this other shit that I have to do. So it's worth it though. I don't know how else to put it. Cause like we were talking about art earlier. It's like, how do you find that value? Where's the value in all this?
You know what I think it is? And I learned this through the podcast too. You found your passion, bro.
Oh yeah.
You found your passion, and now it's like you're putting it on your terms because, you know, this is what I like to do and I'm doing it my way.
Yeah. There's a danger in it too. I mean, I'm sure like just like with anything else, like if you're a welder, you probably aren't going to weld outside of your job, right? Maybe that's a passionate thing too, where you're doing it all the time like that. But like when it comes to what we do with podcasting or comedy or whatever, it's like I try to isolate things. Like I love basketball. Like, and to some people that's like, oh, that makes sense to make a basketball podcast, but it's like, no, I love basketball. Like this thing, podcasting, I do love podcasting. Don't get me wrong. You know what I mean? But it's always up and down. There's always these things that you have to like navigate through or whatever. And you have to find a way to get that episode out every week. Yeah. And I can't imagine basketball becoming that to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, cause I just, bro, World Cup happens, basketball didn't exist. You know what I mean? I'm watching World Cup. Yeah. This is like the stuff that I like. I have to be a person still, in a sense, you know, like a hobby. You know, I love cooking. Oh, then, dog, if you're a podcaster and you like cooking, you should make a cooking show, or you should do a podcast about cooking. Like, nah, fool.
You're making it a job, and it takes away.
If I like cooking, food, I don't want to do it all the time. Yeah, it's special when I get to do it. You know, so just like it's special when I get to watch LeBron. You know what I mean? Like, or whatever else. You know. I
was gonna ask you with everything that you were saying, how do you ever feel exhausted or overwhelmed, or to the point where you're like, fuck?
Yeah.
How do you cope? How do you deal with that? Like, how do you get through with that?
You have to be proactive rather than reactive, right? How did I set myself up for success to deal with this moment now that I'm experiencing? And you just follow through with how you set it up to begin with. There's things that, you know, it's unpredictable. Like, hypothetically right now, the situation, I don't know exactly what it is. Like, how do I deal with that stress or whatever that is at the time? But I'm confident in my ability that I set myself up for success for whatever is happening right now. So trying to be proactive about things rather than reacting to something that's happening right now. Because that's where I'm not in control.
Makes sense.
I like that.
Yeah. And it's going to happen. Like, I could be so eloquent and all this stuff, but you still, like, the guest isn't showing up today. What? That throws things off, right? But being proactive, like, okay, well, we already know what makes this successful, so let's go ahead and have a topic. Let's discuss it a little bit, and then we talk about it, right? That's what Isimo is like, I don't know if you've seen Love Isimo, so Love.
I've seen a couple of them,
Isimo.
actually, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So, like, just alcohol Isimo, right? Like, film Isimo. Like, it's just like, that's the topic for the day. So everyone comes with their one angle, I guess you could say, on the topic and how to make it all come together, you know?
How did you come up with Isimo?
When I was in college, I was a theater student in college. General theater, because I wasn't really confident back in the day. But I knew I wanted to be an actor, but I joined general theater. So I was an actor, but still had to do tech classes and whatnot. So I was like kind of like both sides of this thing, right? Mm-hmm. And when I was in college, I did improv. And I became like the leader of this improv troupe that my homie started. Devin Calderoni was off-wit, and then when he kind of stopped going to school, I don't know. He graduated. The last year that I went to college, I was running the thing, and so I was having to come up with ideas and whatnot. And off-wit was his name for the improv troupe, which is cool. It's like off Broadway, but off-wit, so like off improv kind of thing. Yeah. You know? But I thought to myself, like, dog, that'd be so dope if because there was this comic Isimo. You know Ismo? He's a big comic. But I remember on YouTube, I was on YouTube in the fucking lunchroom at the theater, and I saw Ismo, and I was like, dog, Isimo would be a sick-ass name. You know what I mean? Like, go to the Isimo, whatever people will call you.
You always exaggerate it.
Yes. Isimo's a dope-ass name for an improv troupe, right?
Yeah.
This is back in 2010 or 2011. And then in 2021, I was working with my homie Dominic, and I told him, we were trying to think of a show or whatever, and he wanted to make a show called Un Poquito. But it was a joke from Al Madrigal.
Okay.
And I was like, dog, I was like, you know, oh, you thought I was feeling you kind of thing? Like, I don't know, right? And then the next day, because we were working together at the time, the next day I came, I was like, hey, dog, what about Isimo? Like, this is and he didn't like it. He's like, whatever. And then the next day at work, he came to me and said, like, dog, I like the name Isimo, right? So that's what we named the show.
Okay.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Isimo, it's just exaggerated everything.
Like when he said love Isimo, like it adds that Latino twist, that fucking Spanish twist. So
it's also like a no saboism. Where it's like, like, love Isimo. Like, we got one comment from my cousin up north saying, it should have been amor, stupid, like, whatever. I was like, nah, fool, you don't get it. Love Isimo. Like, amorísimo, obviously, whatever.
Yeah.
But, like, it's just, we speak Spanish. It's just, like, I enjoy that kind of view of things,
Yeah. I was recently told that, I know what you're going to say, but I had somebody say, do I have an accent? And because I was told I had like a Mexican accent, right? But I'm like, well, what the fuck is a Mexican accent? Because like I know how my parents speak, or how certain people that that come here for the first time, they Spanish was their first language, they speak English in a certain way, or even Spanish, right? And I was like, well, what kind of accent? They're like, no, you have a Cholito accent. I was like, is there a fucking Cholito accent? Like,
Yay.
This is how I grew up, So, anyways,
no, yeah.
But they told me I was a no sabo. I was like, what the fuck?
Oh.
I speak Spanish. Like even in Spanish,
you're adding your nouns at the end, dog.
That's Canadian, fool.
That's true.
I like when people act like being called no sabo is like being called bitch in prison. They're like, what the fuck, fool? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's true. People get like defensive about it.
Well, it's fucking 6 letters, fool. Like that's it. No sabo. All right, cool, whatever, fool. Like
Yeah. No, I just think it's because
if my mom called me no sabo, I'd probably fight that bitch. You know what I'm saying?
Nah. My kids are definitely no sabo kids. They don't fucking speak.
It's that Redland shit, dog. You need to like.
Fool. They talk to.
They have fucking red hats and shit, MAGA and shit.
Nah. Fuck that shit. I live on the Hispanic side of Redlands, fool. So I don't live past the.
I'm like, so you don't live in Redlands? Just kidding.
Yeah, I live
San Bernardino, dog.
Nah, fuck San Bernardino, dog. Fuck that. I mean, not fuck San Bernardino, but fuck living there because. It's pretty crazy there, dog.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy.
Oh, yeah.
That's just wild how it changed.
I used to go to the Marquee in San Bernardino. Okay. It's off of, I believe, Baseline in downtown.
Well, Baseline is one of the fucking worst streets you could be on. Baseline and, what's the other one?
The one that told me. Topicano?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, no, San Bernardino altogether is bad. Yeah. I mean,
great people there, but it's just
good times there.
That whole place, that Carnival Mall.
It's all abandoned, fool.
I know it's all abandoned.
There was a big
used to love
homeless
the spot.
community there, fool.
Carlos O'Brien, I don't know if you ever went to it. Bro,
Carlos O'Brien used to be dope. The club in downtown.
Oh, no. I went to one club when I was like 18.
Okay.
And then this one chick that we went with was super drunk. And we had to drive her home, and I had no money, and she was it was her car. Long story, but that was the only club I ever really went to.
It was just a bad experience. It was fuck that shit.
Terrible. I went with 2 girls, and then there was this one girl that I liked that I went with, and then there was the drunk girl that got super drunk. She was over 21. Me and this other girl were 18, 19, whatever. And when I got home after that, I called her and I was like, "Hey, I like you," and then she was like,
"Click."
Why? The way she said "why." I was just like, oh, fuck.
She's like, you just ruined the friendship.
For real, yeah.
No,
we were friends still after. You were still friends
That's
after.
where you went wrong, bro. You over here like trying to be the good guy, like, oh, hopefully she notices.
No, I know.
Hold on. Let's see. Love advice from Sisko. What's up?
We're gonna put the little heart style.
What should he have done?
Let me see your actions. Let me see. You were when the drunk girl was there, you were like protecting her and helping her.
No. Don't You're reframing this. The drunk girl was being drunk as fuck, stupid, and she felt it was hilarious to me at the time, right? Because it was a friend of mine, right? And she got there, and I don't know if she has nothing to eat that day or something or what, but like she got whatever Long Island fucking I don't know what drink she had.
Those motherfuckers like Mike and shit.
It wasn't blue, so.
What did you get yesterday? That was red. I want something spicy.
That shit was funny. Dog,
he went to the bartender. He's like, let me do an Incredible Hulk. We have no hypnotic. First of all, I don't even think that shit exists. Next, let me do an old fashioned. I'm like, wow, this was like, we're fucking rude dogs, fool. You swear this was gonna make it a fucking old fashioned.
Like, we have no oranges.
And then he gets, I'm just gonna do it an adios then, right? And then,
can you do an adios?
Then later on,
got you.
Later on, I want something spicy.
But I didn't say it like that.
Yeah, you're like, I want something like that, but spicy.
I said it like that.
That fool didn't even know what to tell you. He's like,
spicy.
let me do a Mexican candy. Okay, I'll do that.
Nobody first you went, ah.
Yeah.
Nah, but
For real, what's up with you and all that shit? And then we're at the event. I want mezcal. I kind of wanted a little smoky.
Is it wrong?
You know what, fool?
My fucking drinks.
You know what, fool? You're an Isimo, dog. Exagerado. Miguel.
No, is it wrong for me to know what I want? You know what I'm saying? Mikeisimo. Yeah, that's a good one. Mikeisimo. But yeah, I like to try different drinks. You know what I'm saying? Because I guess I think of myself as a unofficial bartender sometimes. I'll mix shit up. I do, dog. In the military, that's all you fucking do, drink. Yeah. And so, like, I think I brought, what, for your Thanksgiving party, right, fool? I brought a Fireball and apple cider.
That shit's still there.
Because on Halloween, we went out trick-or-treating and...
Should have made Pruno instead, dog.
What did he say? It comes out the ass. So fuck that.
Oh my God. A little taste of that. In prison, yeah.
In prison. But, no, we had we were trick-or-treating with the kids, and some old guy was fucking handing out to the adults shots of apple cider with Fireball. Yeah. And I was like, what the fuck? I know Fireball, that shit gives me heartburn. And I was like, I don't know. He's like, try it. It tastes just like apple pie.
The fuck?
Yeah.
Just because it's apple cider doesn't make it seem like it's apple pie.
No, it fucking tasted like apple pie. So I want to recreate that shit.
This was trying to make me relapse. I'm like, let me see that. Let me see.
No. So
related to food, it tastes like steak, dog.
I'm on RIP, dog.
The fucking filet mignon. Yeah, you know that famous taste?
Like I said, I like to fucking mix drinks. I like to ask for shit. Like
I do that, but with food. And for drinking, like, I used to just drink whiskey out the bottle, really.
I like them.
Yeah. Like I was a drum player for a band or whatever, and I would just have a bottle of Jack and just not like swag.
Whiskey's cool to drink like straight, like but this fool, like when we were younger, and we would go out to
I don't know what the fuck was wrong with me.
This fool would order the nastiest shit. Like he would say, "Give me fucking 4 Bacardi 151s on the rocks."
On the rocks, though. 151.
Bacardi 151, one fucking...
151, dude. 151.
151. This was like, that's not even spicy.
That's not spicy.
It just burns. It's not spicy.
Hey, fuck you guys, right?
Yeah, that shit was fucking ridiculous. Yeah, I think that's how I got an ulcer, dick. Fucking burning through my fucking stomach.
Let me get fucking Grey Goose on the rocks. I don't like vodka. I'll drink it. But mix.
My worst idea ever, the was it the 4 Horsemen?
Oh.
Or the 3 Wise Men?
Or the 4 Horsemen. Have you ever had that? It's basically a bunch of fucking different alcohols mixed together.
It's just Jim Beam, Jack Daniels, and who's the other fucker? Jim Beam, Jack Daniels. Someone else with a first name and shit.
Seagram?
No, it's someone with like a first name. Jack, Jim.
Jameson.
I don't know. One of those fools. Don Julio, let's just say. But it's all of them. It's a shot of fuck. That shit was ridiculous.
Yeah. Hey, remember that one time we were playing poker at your house and we ran out of alcohol? And fucking, I used to live 3 houses down. My parents lived 3 houses down from his parents. Yeah. And we ran out of alcohol and my dad had just came back from Mexico. And you know, when they go like to...
They always bring the bottles back.
Yeah, but this one was not even like the good shit. It was like shit that they pass out at a... Huh? Nah, it's the shit that they pass out when like somebody dies. Yeah. When you go to the velorio.
Oh, fucking.
They give you the little chingaditas.
Fireball and apple cider.
I don't know. This was like, hey, fool. I told him, I was like, hey, it was like 2 a.m. And I remember I was like, hey, fool, we don't have no more alcohol, but fuck it, I'll be back. He said, where are you going? I was like, fuck it, I'll be back. And I went to the house and I knew you're not supposed to grab that shit because it's like a memento. Yeah. Man, I fucking took that shit. It was hot as fuck. I take it back and we started taking shots of that shit.
I did that shit with my mom's bottles too and shit. Yeah. I was filling them up with water after and shit.
I remember I was always like when I was 15, my dad at a quinceañera, not mine, but what's it called? We went to I forget whose it was, but this quinceañera, my dad got a beer for me. And was like, hey, come on, let's go, you know? And then so we walked behind a pillar and he was like, you only ever drink with the family. You know what I mean? Some fucking Scarface shit or whatever.
That's where your dad got it from, your grandma and shit?
Yeah. I am my mom's son. And I'm drinking it and I'm like, this tastes like shit. He's like, you're going to like it. You're going to like it. He's telling me, you know? Yeah. He's like, you may not like it right now, but you will like it, you know? And then from that moment on, I only really ever drank with family, and I would smoke weed like a motherfucking monster, dude.
With family?
No. never with family. With some cousins or whatever, but confidential food, like, you know what I mean? But yeah, I would smoke weed with cousins, but like all day long would just be weed smoking, and then doing other drugs, and then it turned into like that accelerating my drinking. And so I would just be drinking and shit, just like buying fucking tall boys and like killing them and shit. And then whenever I would drink liquor, it would be like just bad. Yeah. So like this one time, for instance, I love cooking, right? So like it was like my grandpa, the whole family over at the house. And my uncle Jorge, I've had him on the podcast before. He's hilarious. But he was like fucking with me, and he's like, I saw him in the corner of my eye because I'm on the grill or whatever, and I see this fool pouring me a fucking red Solo cup of alcohol. So he pours the Crown Royal all hard, right? And he's like, hey, fool, to my Uncle Joe and shit. Just like, shut the fuck up, fool, And then pouring that shit. And then he got the Coke, and he's like, And I knew it was happening, and I hadn't eaten yet. And I was like, whatever, fool. He's trying to fuck with me. I'm going to show him I'm a man, fool. I'm going to drink this shit, dog. And so he's like, here you go, Gerardo, And I was like, all right, fool. Got it. And I'm just like, And then my dad, I was drunk as fuck. I didn't know it, though. But, like, I told my dad, like, hey, you got one of those pans or whatever? He's like, yeah, it's in the garage. And so I went with him to the garage, and on the way to the garage, I was like, "I love you, fool. You're my fucking dad, dog." You know what I mean?
Oh, you told me that?
Yeah. But then in the garage, I love you, fool. We may not see eye to eye on some things, whatever. And then we're in the garage, right? And I don't even know what happens, but we got in a fucking huge ass fight. And like I broke his rearview mirror and shit on his car because he was tackling me down to the ground because I don't know what the fuck I did, Yeah. And then that fight, we got up and we went out the back door where everyone was chilling in the backyard, you know what I mean? And then like we just bust through the back door, and I'm out like crazy. I'm just out of my mind, right?
Yeah.
And then my Uncle George like holds me down because this fool's big as fuck. He held me down. He's like, oh, "Are you on PCP, fool?" Right? And then when he said that, I heard that, and I was just like, "What?"
I'm on Crown and Coke, fool.
I'm on that shit you gave me, fool. But I started laughing all hard, and then this fool got all scared. Like, why is he laughing? You know?
It was tripping out.
Like I was on PCP, fool. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I was just all like chilling. I'm like, well, you guys are tripping, fool. And then the cops came, and I was like, what? I didn't know what happened. You know? That's it. That's why I don't drink. You know what I mean?
That sounds like, hey, so you get any memories? That's how I get. I used to get like that, like
crazy,
blackout, and I don't know what the fuck I said or did. And yeah.
Just wake up with hickeys and shit after a long vampire night and shit.
Nah, I like when he said, it resonated when he said he was I mean, you fucking been there in some of my time. I almost ran to the freeway once.
Oh.
Nah. But nah, that's just crazy.
That is crazy. Yeah. I mean, yeah, dude. I used to live in Van Nuys. Off of Woodman and Chandler.
Okay.
And if you know the area, you probably don't know the
area. Yeah, I do work in Van Nuys.
I used to work in West LA.
Off Rosita and all that.
Okay, so like in Van Nuys, there's Hazeltine Park, right? So I used to live off of Woodman and Chandler. Hazeltine and I think Magnolia or something, that's where the park's at. It's a little bit of a distance. It's like a short drive, but, far walk. I remember one time I got drunk as fuck, dude, and I hopped him on other drugs or whatever. I don't even know what the fuck I was on, right? And for some reason, I just got naked. And I ran to the park, fool. I ran to Hazeltine Park. And then I was there, and I was like, what am I doing here, fool?
Getting a tan, dog.
Water. And, dude, no shoes, no socks, just flat, feet on the ground, fool.
Running through the
Running like Sonic, fool. Like an ugly ass Sonic the Hedgehog. Dude. No coins, you know what I mean? No pockets, you know what I mean? I'm just like flat. My feet, I remember hearing my feet on the floor. Yeah. But I remember feeling sick as fuck. So I was like, yeah, dog. No shirt. I think I had underwear on, but like naked to the public, you know what I mean? And then I made it to the park and I was like, yo, why am I here? I know. I was like, there's a fucking reason why I ran to the park, fool.
Like, I forgot my clothes here, dog.
No, I thought it was being philosophical. It's like, why am I here on Earth? You know, start thinking about shit like that.
No, but then I went to the homegirl's house that lived next to Hazeltine Park.
Without clothes still?
Oh, that's what you were trying to do.
No, that's why she said, why?
No, but I'm pretty sure we weren't like on good terms or whatever. I was a terrible person at this time in my life. Not even like that bad, but just like I was a weirdo, like very alone. Like I was writing a lot, in my room or whatever. But I had a lot of friends because our house was like the fucking, what is it called? The trap house in a sense. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I just went to her house and we walked back to my house because there was a party happening at the house.
Yeah.
And so we walked back to the house and everyone's like, "Where'd you go, fool?" I'm like, "Why you have no shirt on?" I'm like,
Why you in underwear, dog? Is this a pajama party?
But like, there's those moments where you black out. That little second where you black out, and then you're like, "Oh yeah, there's a reason why we're doing this right now, fool." And I just remember running, fool, just like, and the cars were all slow. I'm all faster than the cars and shit.
They're parked.
They're parked cars.
I'm like, I'm fucking fast.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going backwards, dog.
Yeah, that shit was fucked.
I've done some crazy shit like that too.
Yeah.
So I know. I feel you. I fucking once missed a whole flight of stairs.
Oh, really?
If it was coming up, I was on my birthday party. This was back in 2008. I think so. I think it was 2008. In the back of the military, man, I used to drink fucking like crazy. And then
Hell yeah.
when I would chill with this, I had my military homies, and then I had my homies from where I grew up. And that day I threw a party, and it was just fucking. I had started drinking at 11. My brother-in-law was over. We finished 2 30 packs before the people started coming, and when people started coming, we started just drinking from a beer bongs, fucking shots straight from the bottle. And by the time this fool got there, I was fucking blacked out. I was fucking blacked out, and I don't know what ticked me off. I can't remember. This is the stories that I've been told. And I guess I took off running, and I lived in the second floor in apartments. And I don't know. I thought I was fucking able to jump and shit or whatever.
For that 1 second, you're like, "What am I doing here?"
Yeah, I landed on the floor, got up, and took off running, and everybody was chasing me. Cause back then I was in shape. And
Not everybody, dog. Not me.
yeah, you're
I was
just
like, these fools are drunk too. A drunk fool. Drunk
So you
fools
got a bunch of
chasing a drunk fool.
chasing a more drunk fool. And at the time, I was in shape, and I was running, you know, and I would take off running without shoes. And I remember
It's like a thing, huh?
no
shoes?
Hey, you go from chilling to fucking running, dog.
Hey, you know what, dude? The crazy thing, the logic to take off your shoes, dog. That's, if you're at a full blown party and shit,
No, I was
you
in
take
bed
these shits
already.
off.
That's the thing that I was already in bed, and I was supposed to be knocked out for the night, and somebody went to wake me up because the party was still going, and that ticked me off, I think. And
Oh, so
then-
you wanted to get away from the party?
I don't know what the fuck was going on in my mind. I just remember it ended with me. I came back, and my girl at the time, she's crying and yelling at me. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
And everybody's like, dude, come back up and everything. And I see the guys coming, the homies, and I'm like, I look at them, I look at her, and I fucking, there's bushes, bro. I throw myself in the bushes. I said, try to hide.
Oh.
Dude, the next morning I woke up happy because I was still drunk.
Yeah.
But I had fucking marks all over my face,
Hickeys
my
on his
ankle.
neck.
I had hickeys on my fucking neck. Some vampire kid. But I don't know. And then the next day I woke up, and that's when she took me on the tour. She's like, you know, I showed me all the mess. Nobody was there. Everybody was supposed to sleep over. Yeah. Nobody was home. Yeah, that was fucking.
Imagine you wake up and people are just in hazmat suits. Like, I don't know what this fool had, dog, but I don't want the gases or nothing. What's called? I'll tell you guys a story about. I think the same time in my life, if not shortly before moving to Van Nuys. But I was with my homie Reggie. Me and Reggie, we used to get in a lot of.
I'm not gonna lie. Reggie already sounds like you got some shit.
I mean, bro, Reggie was a shorty, like a short guy. But me and him got into a lot of, like, he's the only, this is, like, when it comes to Reggie, he's the only guy that I ever, like, fist fought multiple times, and we were still homies after the fact. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I'm not a fighter, like, as much as I used to be, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I used to think that was an answer to something, you know? But me and Reggie were, we were just getting into shenanigans. We would do open mics and whatnot, and we would do cocaine together, right? And so me and this fool went to this party where it was him and his homegirl and this other girl. He didn't know these two girls. You know what I mean? I didn't know these two girls either. But we went with them to a party. And I didn't know anyone at the house. No, we didn't know anyone in this whole I don't know how Reggie got into this situation, right? But I was like,
You probably fought him.
I was like, this is hilarious, food. This is.
So you guys showed up with 2 girls.
Yes. To this house that I didn't
But you guys didn't even know the
You didn't
girls.
No.
How the fuck? How did y'all get?
It's called picking up, fool.
It's called doing cocaine. This is
okay.
what cocaine does to you, right? And so me and him had a little sack or whatever. We didn't want the girls to know about it, right? So me and him were just like, you know, what's up, dog? Like dapping each other up every 10 minutes because someone's gonna go to the restroom.
Yeah.
So like handing off the sack or whatever, back and forth, and And I remember taking him out to the front yard and being like, hey, fool, your girl's way cuter than my girl, fool. Let me get with your girl, dog. And I was like trying to convince him, and he's like, go fuck yourself, dog. And then we start fighting. We just start fucking fighting, fool. And this fool got me good, and then I got him good, and then he's the one that drove to the party, right? So I was and so he goes back inside and comes out with both girls, and they hop in the car and they dip out. And then I'm like, fuck these fools, dog. You know what I mean?
You're like, you don't know what the fuck you're fucking with. Let me take off my shoes and my shirt. I run faster than the car, dog.
It's like that Terminator scene, fool, where that fool's running in the back. And you're like, what the fuck?
I'm like, I know
They don't know what the fuck they fucking with.
I know there's a reason why I trained for this. And so this fool dips out. I remember not realizing that he could do that. And then when he's doing it, I was like, oh shit, that's my ride, fool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I turned back to the party. I'm like, fuck that fool. He's stupid anyways. You know what I mean? And I turn back to the party, and I'm trying to walk inside, and they're like, no, you just got in a fight outside, fool. I'm sure this is like some nice family. They didn't expect anything to have to do with us or whatever. Yeah. And I was like, oh shit, I can't go back. I didn't realize any of this could happen. I was just doing whatever the fuck I wanted to do at the time, right? And so I think they call the cops. They kick me out, right? The cops come and they search me, and I'm like freaking out because of the cocaine thing, right? And then I realized, I was like, oh shit, I don't have it on me, like Reggie had, but I'm still like handcuffed on the front of the cop car, just going, you know, like crazy, like fucking crazy. Yeah. But I was also very fucking happy because I didn't have anything on me, even though this fool could tell. You know, and the cop was just like, "Where is it? You know, tell me where is it?" I was like, "I don't know what you're talking about." Like the Joker, fool. You know what I mean? Like just getting arrested. And then this fool put me in the cop car. He takes my property right in the front with him, and he starts driving. And we're going down, and this is in Whittier, right? We're going down the street, and dude, there's a 7-Eleven, and this car turns and hits, like T-bones this other car right in front of us, and they both just go tumbling, right? And then the cop's like, holy shit, whatever he said, right? So he parks at the 7-Eleven, and I'm just in the back, like trying to look out the window and shit, you know, see what's happening. And then the cop comes up and he undoes the handcuffs, gives me my property. It's like 1:30 or 2 in the morning right now. And he goes, call up one of your homies and see if they can come pick you up. Whatever, not homies. He's like, you know, call up one of your perpetrators or whatever the cops say, right? So I call my homie Devin, and he doesn't make it there till like 4:30 or 5 in the morning. And the cop's waiting there with me. And I ended up going to get donuts with Devin, but like that whole story was. I
thought he was gonna say with the cop, dog. I got a big gulp and a donut with the cop.
I remember to go for a donut, dog.
I'm like, I know how you guys do it.
I thought it was gonna be like Reggie was the one that T-boned the fucking car.
That would be wild. No,
I was like Reggie.
Reggie, why?
Reggie.
No, but I remember just the car crash happening, and I was like, oh shit, this is a wild night. And then not getting sent to jail, I was like, oh shit, this is a crazy ass night, dude.
I got in a fight, I didn't get arrested. Shit.
Keep in mind, that was a different time in my life, and I obviously am not proud of this, but it is funny to me.
Of course.
Well, we have to do that, bro. We have to look back at our lives and, you know, laugh at the fucking stupid shit we did. Yeah. That's how we learn from them, right?
Yeah.
I still haven't learned. Fuck.
Yeah, he still hasn't learned. Whatever.
No mames way.
Which is a great way to lead us into our no manches segment, die.
Is there a reason why you say manches, or is it just more appropriate?
I don't know. Honestly, why?
Well, I don't know. It's not appropriate because we cuss a lot and shit in here, you know what I mean? But it's just more like, no mames is the way everybody says it.
Yeah.
But no manches, I guess, it was more like, I don't know. I never.
Neutral?
Yeah.
I get so mad when people say no manches. I'm like, fool, just say it.
It's like the no sabo, dog. It's kind of like that no sabo, no manches.
Yeah.
Yeah. To me, it's like, dog, when people are like, what the frick are we doing here? You know? It's like, dog, if you're feeling fuck, say fuck, homie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, freaking heck.
Well, no, that shit don't apply, dog, because my daughters be saying freak, and I'm like, what'd you say?
Oh.
Like,
Hey, that shit died out, huh? The word freaking?
No, they still use it.
Huh?
I know my daughters cuss. I'm not fucking stupid.
Yeah.
They're teenagers and they go to, because it's come out whenever they're like with me, and they're like, fuck, and I'm like, what?
They're in Redlands, dog. They say other shit.
Yeah,
listen, I've always been a wild guy, right?
Yeah.
I'm a wild fucking person. I'm probably not a good father. You know what I mean? My girl has kids though. You know what I mean? So like, I understand. I could kind of connect to this whole thing about like trying to be respectful, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And you know, I was respectful as a kid. You know, but I just couldn't help but just cuss. You know?
Yeah.
And I would get in trouble every time, but it never changed the way that I would talk or act. And I would like to think that I'm eloquent enough not to need cuss words or anything, but it just feels good, food. And there's something about feeling good, dog, that you can never take away from you.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
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 I think that's what's wrong with this generation. Though. They use bro instead of fucker and.
It's not even the generation because fools like older guys would like abide by it quickly. Okay, yes, sir. I don't want to get beat up by the cancel culture society. I want to be fit in with everyone. It's like food. Just talk the way you want to talk.
Well, I think I pretty much do. Sometimes I gotta watch what I say because I say a lot of my mala. So
yeah, it's nothing against you guys, but the manches thing, I'm always like, I mean, remember the first movie that came out, Doug? The sequel sucks. You know
I was like, which movie?
No,
but just in general.
Like, no Mames is the original. Like, why are we Dark Knighting that word?
That's
food,
true.
You know what I mean?
Hey, for today's episode, no Mames.
Actually, Star Wars, dog. Empire Strikes Back. I mean, what was it? Yeah, Empire Strikes Back is a pretty good sequel.
Yeah,
it's one of the Terminator, another one. But okay, anyways, there are exceptions out there.
Godfather 2.
There you go.
Yeah.
I don't know. Godfather 1, that I think.
Godfather 2 is the business. Godfather 1's amazing. Doesn't take away from Godfather 1, but Godfather 2 brings it all together, baby.
Frito.
And with that, we'll be back after these words.
With the sponsor. Anyway, you ready to go into it, Night? Into the No Mames?
Yeah, no Mames. Start it off.
Go for it.
You want me to go?
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep it in the spicy.
Ooh.
Fucking no Mames. You know, I think I get heartburn easy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I shouldn't be fucking eating spicy shit because I always get heartburn. But I think it's fucking our parents' fault, especially growing up in a Mexican household, because they feed you spicy shit since you're little, and it's like, why the fuck do they do that, knowing we're gonna get fucking agruras? You know what I'm saying? So no mames, like parents, like I know little kids, they're fucking 10 months old, or when they're already able to eat, and they're eating takis.
Yeah.
And it's like the motherfucker's crying and shit. And he's looking on the fucking, boogers are coming out. Like, no mames. That's what we get heartburn. Fuck. But I guess, that's my no mames.
Yeah.
Parents, don't give your fucking kids chile.
Yeah, it's a mindset, dog. You're over here. We have this topic all fucking podcast long. George Lopez, change your mindset, fool. Stop doing it. You're over there too, like yesterday and shit. I need a sandwich and I need my spicy chips with my sandwich.
He's talking about he was incepted to think that way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
So I feel it, but then again, it's like, do you want to be that guy that's like, here's your salad? You know what I mean? Do you want to be the guy giving out salad to kids? That's fucked up.
Yeah.
The kids are gonna get them chips elsewhere, foo.
That's true.
But you want to be that guy. So it's like kind of like a first to be there kind of thing. You don't want to be the guy giving out kale chips, homie. You know what I mean? Like that's fuck. I'm not going to Mike's house, dog. He gives out kale, fool.
Hey, some sea salt chips though. I'm there.
That fool low key's not in his bag, dog.
You don't give chetos. I want the red chetos. That's what they call it, chetos.
Yeah. My no mames, dog. It's gonna be. I'm sorry.
He'll go political.
I got to apologize to you, dog, because it's about you.
Oh shit.
So I mean,
Yeah.
What did I do?
People that I'm not even a fucking bartender, dog. But if I was a bartender, I'd be fucking annoyed by people like you when they come up. So I want something like this, but I want it spicy.
Okay. Yep.
It's like, fool, like, dog. If you don't know what you want, search first and then let me know what the fuck you want.
Yeah.
What the fuck? You're the expert, fucker. You're the bartender. You went to bartending school, no? I'm assuming.
Yeah, but then you have you.
Fucking, I won't.
But
I'm telling you hints of what I want.
But if that's the
Make that
case,
shit.
what's gonna happen? All right, so smoky. Do you want like a mezcal that's smoky? Do you want a tequila smoky? I don't know which one. What was gonna be the follow up question to that?
You know what? And that's why you get $1 tip versus a $10 tip. I went to the steakhouse the other day, right? And I was on a date night with myself. First time I ever gone out like that. Had a nice piece of steak. Bartender was cool. He said, "What do you feel like drinking tonight, sir?" I was like, "Shit." It was in Redlands too.
Yeah.
You know, they treat you better over there. Well, they looked at me different because it was white people to my right and white people to my left. Bartender was white, and I'm the only bald fool in there, Mexican. He's probably asking me, he's probably thinking, is this fool here to wash the dishes?
If it was like food's gone wild.
Yeah, fool's gone wild.
Food's gone wild.
And then I go, yeah, you know, I ordered a steak. And then he's like, what would you like to drink today? I said, I don't know. I'm feeling smoky. What do you have that's smoky? And the dude goes,
You're like, fool, there's a cigar fucking lounge outside, dog. Fuck, go, you want smoky?
No, I mean, like, the vato fucking brought out, we have this one from the fine. And he's explaining to me the fucking alcohol. That's what I want to hear. But
Yeah.
you're right. We're at
But
Rude Dogs.
you're
We're
Rude Dogs, fool.
We're at Rude Dogs.
You're Rude Dogs. Fool, like.
I know. We're at Rude Dogs. I should have fucking got the hint when he said.
And then we're at the event. They only have one mezcal and one tequila. I want something smoky.
Well, I was asking if the mezcal is smoky, fool.
And then it's sponsored. It has the sponsor of the mezcal in the background. So it's only one mezcal brand, dog.
Well, I fucking know, dog.
I want the smoky brand. Like,
Do you guys have mezcal? Yes. By chance, is it smoky?
yeah, that's what he did. That's
You
what he
can't
did.
fucking
That's
say
what he
that.
did.
No, but no, I'm not trying to mock you. What I'm trying to do is saying, like, if you can't yell what you're asking for from a
Don't say that
fucking,
shit?
don't say that shit,
Okay,
fool.
cool.
When
take
somebody else is
notes.
gonna hear it and they're like, "Este más
Yeah, no, for real.
you know?
I forgot where the fuck we went on the restaurant too. One time I was like, this one. She's like, oh, chili cheese fries, dog. I want the cheese shredded. No. Okay, is the cheese? You know if the cheese is shredded when you guys put it on?
Do you guys have fondue? I like chili cheese fries, but with fondue. I heard about it last week. I went to this, and if the fondue's smoky,
If it's smoky and spicy, it's Mike.
No, for what? So you want me to order the way I used to fuck?
and then they're like, no, the cheese, sir, the cheese is not smoky. He's like, you're not getting a fucking tip,
You need
fool.
$1, homie.
$1.
Fucking blow some cigarette smoke in that bitch. I don't care. Make it smoky.
No, this is my whole thing too.
You know, I
Like,
was gonna fucking grab his huevo. Yeah, it's spicy, motherfucker.
I used to work in kitchens for probably like 12 years, right?
Yeah.
So like I'm back of the house, no front of the house type shit. You know what I mean? And so like, listen, if you have some exceptions and shit, I got fucking gluten free, whatever. It's a bitch for the people in the back, but whatever. I'm gonna do it because it's my job at the time. You know what I mean? I fucking hate people that go somewhere and like, let me get like Jack in the Box food, you know? Let me get a number 3, but no mayo because that shit makes my shit stink or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever the reason is, like. Oh, you can't ask them. You can't be like, "What? Are you allergic to it? You a bitch or what?" You know what I mean? But that's what it's like.
What if you're
need
allergic?
answers,
What the
fool.
fuck?
Yeah.
I can see that, but
Unless it's extra virgin olive oil mayonnaise, I can't have it. Why? Because it tastes better. It's so stupid to me, dude. Like, but no ketchup because I'm on a diet. You're eating a burger, dog. You know?
Yeah.
Like, I hate people that have exceptions, and I try my best not to do that shit. Only place I do it is In-N-Out, like fry well done. Right? Fry well done.
Yeah.
It's 3 words as opposed to being like, I want this, but without this and that and this and the other thing. You know?
Okay.
Oh.
I'm a bitch too, though.
what about a Chipotle?
Chipotle food. Yeah, so that's my no manches. No mames, rather. My no mames is that, no mames, you don't like Chipotle, fool? No, anyone. Food. Like, you know who I'm talking about. No mames, fool. Chipotle is not Mexican food.
It's the George Lopez of Mexican food. dog.
Watch your mouth. Just kidding. No, Chipotle is Mexican food because it's the ingredients that matter, right? The ingredients added together is some shit that was Mexican, right?
Okay.
Just because you walk into some corporate entity and they're making it way better than your mom, right? That doesn't mean that it's not Mexican food. Mexican food better than your mom's food. Chipotle. That's what they should be saying. You know what I mean? You know why I say better than your mom's? This fool. He's the only one that got offended. I heard that. Gasp. You never tried Chipotle?
Yeah, you just offended him.
Yeah, I still. But these fools didn't say anything. You saw that? What's it called? Anyways, no, but I feel like it's better than your mom's because it makes you feel a certain way. If I say better than your mom's, you're like, hey, fool, what the fuck? It's like, I mean, so there's an argument there. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, fool. They always, I mean, not always, but like it's gone downhill after the pandemic. But Chipotle is always good. You know?
Yeah.
And it is Mexican food. It's like adobo fucking chicken, like cilantro lime rice. Tell your mom to make cilantro lime rice, and see if it's as good as Chipotle.
When you worked there, is it natural or is it fucking packaged shit?
Natural, like yeah. Well, we got chickens in the freezer. We don't have.
Like is the rice made or is it just fucking?
No,
let's rip up
you
the
make the rice
packet.
every morning.
Okay.
Every morning, like that was my shit. Was working grill.
Okay.
So like you cook and like I don't know how it is now because I know there's some sketchy shit about the chicken, whatever.
What was it? No, it wasn't E. coli.
Oh no, it was neurovirus.
Okay, yeah.
That brought them down way back when. I think like 6 years. The cheese? Yeah, you shred the cheese. Yep. You shred the cheese.
Can you shred it extra shredded?
There's a tomato like dicer that. And keep in mind, I worked at Chipotle from 2012 to 2014. Since then, a bunch of shit has happened, whatever. But at that time, the golden age of Chipotle is what I like to refer to as. Yeah, you have to shred the cheese. You have to dice the tomatoes with the machine. But everything else, like the jalapeno, the onion, is hand cut, you know? and the chicken hand cut, whatever, all that stuff. The thing that is sketchy about the chicken now is why I don't go before like noon, is that they make chicken the night before and then they reheat that the next day. That's fucked up.
Yeah,
all right, you weren't allowed to do that back in the day. It was called food waste, where you would have to weigh that shit out and they would send it to a homeless shelter like 5 days later because they don't want it to be fresh. They don't want to incentivize you to be homeless. No, I'm just playing about that. I'm just playing about the 5-day thing.
I'm gonna be homeless just because I get Chipotle.
We know Chipotle's not gonna sponsor this shit.
No, but I've heard something about, because I got my people in Chipotle still, and somebody told me that they reheat the chicken. I was like, what? That's great. You don't do that, dog.
That's why I just do barbacoa. Hey, no, don't tell me about the barbacoa.
Hold on. I was gonna say no manches because you just said you got your peoples, right? I've known people that worked in like restaurants or in a fast food environment or whatever, and then they used to work there a long time ago, and then they go and they order something. And then, like you said, they don't make it a certain way. Well, wait, we used to make it this way. Mm-hmm. Why is it not made? Like that
sounds like you, fool.
No, fool. That's not no mom. It's like, okay, they made that shit back in 2012. Dog. They don't have that shit. You know what I mean? How the fuck you get mad at me for getting smoky and spicy fucking drinks? But why are you trying to get this shit? They don't make it, dog. The Mexican pizza, they don't make it no more, dog.
Oh,
they brought it back. But
that's Taco Bell.
Yeah, I know. I was saying things that were in the past. Mm-hmm. You know. My bad, Chipotle.
So you're being very animated right now, dog. Yeah, you're like all over the place.
I don't know. He's like, so I feel restricted sometimes. I feel like fucking.
But he's right. Chipotle does make you feel a certain way.
Yeah,
like it makes me want to go to the fucking restaurant after. But
I swear to God, dude. So I have a Discord, right, for Isimo.
Okay.
And there's people like to think that it's a joke, fool. And I do say jokes here and there, right? I joke a lot. I'm a comedian.
Yeah.
But I really do feel this way about Chipotle. Chipotle is like 100%.
It is
no
good,
joke.
Yeah.
I go to the Chipotle. Like when I used to live in Claremont, I would walk to the Chipotle's that close to my apartment, and
Indian Hill.
Was that
Indian Hill?
Indian Hill, the best Chipotle, dude. Back in the day, like 2020. And I would just sit there with the window and watch the fucking world in front of me, dude. That's it, and just eat my Chipotle by myself. No fucking comedy thinking, nothing. And it was like a way for me to release. Like after 2014, when I got fired, for like 3 years, I had free Chipotle after that. So like, and I was still fucking drinking, smoking, all this shit, whatever. My homie he was the general manager in Hollywood, gave me a stack of burrito bucks. And they were all expired. But at Chipotle, they were like whatever fucked up with the machine or something when they were printing these things. So they couldn't tell what was expired or not for reals. Mm. So they just always gave you that buck or whatever, or the burrito. So I got free food for years after that. Oh. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I got sober, all this stuff, whatever. And I would go to Chipotle and pay for all my meals because of how much they fucking supported me in my past. I used to go to Chipotle 3 times a day when I worked there.
Yeah.
Like, obviously working, but eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner basically at Chipotle. And then riding back and making my music or whatever. And so,
while eating Chipotle.
While eating Chipotle. No. I don't like to go stuff. Number one thing with Chipotle too now is that they're fucking up is like you don't get that shit to go. You have to eat it there. You have to,
so it's an experience for you. It's not even just the food.
It's a spiritual experience, homie. Yeah, the whole thing. You gotta eat there, fucking, and you may have 1 or 2 bad times, and like it may be the one time you go where it's a bad time. But dog, I'm telling you, food. If you just let
you always get the same shit, or do you switch it up? Like, have you tried everything on the menu?
When they came out with the chorizo. And I didn't try that.
You don't like chorizo?
I love chorizo. I'll eat some right now.
Spicy. This shit's getting spicy. I'm out.
What's it called? No, I didn't. But like, they have the new steak right now. I'm not trying it. I'm not like. Listen, I'll be the first to shit talk Chipotle when they deserve it. You know what I mean? But I basically stick to my guns. Food like. It depends on like what I want that day, But
that steak that they brought out looks the same as a regular steak. They just threw
like
extra
and they just had longer cuts.
They charge you a little bit more now.
Exactly. The thing is, they charge you $2 more. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And I never really was a big fan of the steak. I used to way back in the day, but like I eat chicken, and when I want to feel crazy, carnitas.
Okay.
The barbacoa I used to get in quesadillas.
Okay.
So like barbacoa quesadilla.
What the fuck is sofritas?
It's tofu.
Oh.
Yeah.
This was very passionate about Chipotle.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I thought it was just a thing, but no.
Have you seen that meme with the little kid that goes, "I love Chipotle."
Chipotle's my
life.
life. Yeah. Fuck that fool, dude. Because I get that shit.
that was you, dog. That should have been me, dog. He's hating.
No, it's a trip, fool. Like I met one of my really good friends the first time I ever went to Chipotle. I met that fool at Chipotle, you know, and when in high school, and then. Since then it's just always some fucking thing about Chipotle's in every aspect of my life, which is crazy, but it's awesome. I don't know. And then my roommate now, we both used to work there. We both got fired, but that fool was giving out free food to hot chicks. You know what I mean?
I mean, can't blame him, right?
I mean, Chipotle blamed him and they fired him. but now it's like, okay, yeah, back to what I was saying. Like with my Discord, we have a food section. Do you guys do Discord?
No.
You guys should start a Discord. Hey, y'all should join their Discord, foo. You know, they're going to start one. Sisko and Mike Discord. It's free.
So I don't even know what the fuck Discord is.
It's like a chat, right? Like a
it's like a forum for your fans to go in there and conversate with you. And so like I have different rooms. There's a food room. There's, you know, like a bunch of different things, conspiracy room, all these different things, right? So for the food room, I was tired of just like posting shit about Chipotle in there. And people were hating on Chipotle. And I'm like, hey, this is like, you know what I mean? I'm totalitarian, fool. Like you can't do that shit. Yeah. Fuck you. Like, yeah, there's a bunch of gifs of Joel, my homie, going like this, so we like put that shit in there all the time. What's it called? I made a Chipotle room, right? And I made a group. Like this is all Discord kind of aspects, the interface and whatnot, but like I made a group of people called Chipotle haters, right? So if you like, and I'll screenshot your shit. I swear to God, I got a folder on my computer and shit of these screenshots of some wild ass shit you said about Chipotle, right? I'm not joking, dog.
By wild, he just said, I just had a horrible experience at Chipotle.
Yes.
Why you wilding out, dog?
There's no need to advertise that, all right? You know what I'm saying? So like, there was one person that did that, but then they, you know, like the whole thing is we told them like they never had Chipotle before. It's some chick, Ms. Misfit, I think it is, and she never had Chipotle before. And I was like, all right, you know. And then one day she went on my stream and she's like, I just had Chipotle. I was like, bet, like come in the fucking voice chat and tell us about your experience. This bitch came in my voice chat, right? And she talked about how bad her experience was. And I was like, what? No, like, and she did everything wrong. She didn't do what we asked her to do. It's like, nah, you got to do it the right way. She got an online order, but I have work. I don't give a fuck. Then you went the wrong day. Don't go on the day you have work. You know what I mean? Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. I'm overacting right now. Yeah, but what's it called? Like, but that's that. I have that saved, that video saved. Like, this is the reason why you're a Chipotle hater. You know what I mean? Yeah. Chipotle haters aren't allowed to post in the Chipotle room. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even I was like thinking about it too, because this one fool went in there and shared a picture of like Raising Cane's in my Chipotle room.
I fucking hate.
And I'm like, I'm gonna screenshot this, but you're not a Chipotle hater yet. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. There's no need for this shit to be in there. Raising Cane's not that bad, but it's a Chipotle
overrated
room. There's a food room. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, so no mames way. And if people don't believe me, food, but it's 100% like. I'd rather it be this way. Why? You know what I mean? I don't want to be hating on Chipotle. They did a lot wrong, but they didn't do anything wrong to me. They did do something wrong to me, but my life would be wildly
now
different.
In hindsight, you're like, fuck Chipotle.
I've never, dog.
Maybe you love them so much because you really hate them.
No. Love, yeah. Well, hate comes from love.
It's a love-hate relationship.
Yeah. So it's not. They're both equal to each other. They're not two different things. They're both the same. You know, like if you hate something, you must love that thing. To
hate it, you have to have loved it.
Yes.
I didn't. Fuck
yeah, because indifference is the true hate. Like when you go on stage, you always like people's fear is always like they're gonna boo me, fool. Like, oh fuck, I don't want to get booed, dog. I've never seen fools like more scared than booing. You know what I mean? But that's not the worst part of it, fool. If you get boos, they're listening, dog, and they're reacting to what you're saying. That's amazing. They pay attention to you. But if they're just indifferent, fool, that's the part that you're just like, I'm gonna go home and eat a revolver, dog. I'm just playing.
Ready?
Yeah. We've been having so much fun, bro. I mean, this shit could go on forever. I just feel like
I have to cut it off at the Chipotle, dog, because I know they should have fucking turned into a Chipotle podcast.
Yeah. Well, he did say that.
Yeah.
But we're coming close to the end now, and we like to finish off with every one of our guests says words of wisdom.
Yeah.
So we talk about what that is. So tell us something that us, our listeners, your listeners, could live by, or something they can use in their life. What is something that you would like to say?
Yeah, I mean, my listeners know what I always say, and I was trying not to say. That's why I paused a lot during our conversation today, because I was trying not to save. I was trying to save it to the end. But my number one thing that I live by is how you do something is how you do everything, right? How you do one thing is how you do everything. And I live by that because not to be intense about everything. You know what I mean? But to realize like, how do these things, and it's also a way for you to welcome people in and like let down your boundaries or your barriers. It's like if somebody does something and you can question that thing, you don't try to get in their head. You don't like try to think, oh, they did this because of that. You just take things at face value. It's like how you do something is how you do everything. So if this fool's going to show up 5 minutes late, that's how he's always going to be, you know?
Yeah.
And it's nothing to like note or keep track of. It's just in the moment type things. Right now he's doing this. I can expect that from him forever. Right. And also too, if he does show up on time the next time, then he has the capacity to change. Right. So that's how he does everything. He's able to be, malleable and change. And, I think that's just how I live everything. Like everything in my life goes back to that one saying. When I was with my dad, when I was a kid, like me and my dad have a good relationship now, but we went through a hard time, whatever. When I was a kid though, he was a very, hard worker, like made a good life for himself now from living in Mexico to coming here and working at Frito-Lay and then becoming a citizen and all that stuff. But I remember walking with him to CVS one day, and there was this guy, a younger Latino guy, and with the box of candies, you know what I mean? And he was coming towards my dad, like all, trying to sell the candy and like, but had it down or whatever. And my dad stopped when he was walking and like listened to him and, this candy right here, fool, you're going to love this candy. Whatever, he didn't say full, but you know what I'm saying? Like he sold the candy to my dad. And my dad told him, he's like, my dad's an intense guy. Not intense. No, he's not intense. He's very stoic and like very, like I always call him like a rock. He's just like a stoic guy. And he told him, he's like, I'm not even hungry right now. I don't want your candy, but the way that you spoke about it right now, I'm going to buy it from you because I want you to continue to do it that way, whatever that was, right? And so he bought it from him and he got the candy. And I'm like a little kid looking at it. I'm like, I want to say like maybe 9 or 10 or 11 years old. And he told me, he's like, don't forget that, fool. Like how you do something is how you do everything, Like this guy is going to be able to be a better salesman in another aspect of his life. He'll be able to sell things forever because he's got this passionate about it right now, or whatever it is. And it's basically the like how you do something is how you do everything is the same thing as like if you're a janitor, fool, clean that toilet like really good, like make sure the floors are all clean. It's like the grand Mexican grandpa talk that you always get, right? If you're going to clean that toilet, fool, clean it the best you can,
Yeah.
And I used to clean toilets at Costco, and that's the worst place to clean toilets, fool. Like, I don't know if you guys noticed, fool. Stand outside of a woman's restroom at Costco. You've never seen women bigger in your life. You know what I mean? And they're sitting on that shit, dog. And they don't give a fuck where that blood goes. You know what I mean? Just thought I'd say that.
That's what the manches.
No manches. I'm just playing. No, but I've seen some horror stories.
You know what's crazy though?
Well, I want to say thank you to your dad because
you
know me. I was probably the guy that he bought the chocolate from because I did that.
I thought you were gonna be the guy that does the one thing.
No, I did that. Yeah. I started doing that when I was 12 years old. And you know that. So you're right. It's easy. Like I had my whole salesman pitch down, but it's easy. Like I still buy from kids when I see them like that, but they have to work for it.
Exactly.
Because it's easy to come up to somebody and say, "Want to buy a chocolate?" No, and then he goes his way. And me, like I tell this to my kids now, and I tell this to anybody that I come across. I wasn't selling candy. I was selling myself. You know what I'm saying? I was selling who I was. If I used to go by Jose. I didn't like to put in my real name.
Yeah.
Because I was like, fuck, I don't know these fools. I used to go like, hey, ¿cómo está? Buenos días. Me llamo Jose. Blah, blah, blah. The whole spiel.
Mm-hmm.
And I was selling me. So I want to say thanks to your dad because he recognized, hey, the kid's not just, I don't even give a fuck about the candy. I bought it for him. You know? And so, yeah. Anyways, it hit me right now.
He was presented with an opportunity. He worked at my grandpa's auto mechanic shop. My grandpa abandoned my family to come here. I'm sure there was a conversation before he left, but he took a chance and he showed up here. He washed dishes. He fucking made a way here. 100%. All on him. My dad was a young kid in Durango, and my grandpa figured out a way for them to get on a plane somehow to come here. I don't know the logistics of it all, whatever, legally and stuff, right? But he got his family here somehow.
Yeah.
And he opened up a mechanic shop. And then my dad was working at the mechanic shop. The oldest brother, my dad was, teaching his brothers how to work on cars,
Yeah.
And how you do like that, all that goes back to who we are as Alarcons, you know what I mean? And to have pride in that, not a toxic pride, but like a pride that you're actually proud of. Not something that's kind of outlandish that you're like, nah, fool, we always just hit women because that's who we are. Like nothing like that, fool. You know, like the work ethic that you carry. I'm not talking about how great the system is, all this stuff that makes you kind of like us, like kind of like be relevant within it. Yeah. It's like, yeah, everything's fucked up, fool. We know that. Like we, you know, my parents had to figure out a way to get here to begin with. That's fucked up, you know? Yeah. Everything about it is fucked up, but you make the best of it. And also you got to be proud with yourself, like proud of what you do at the end of the day. Yeah. You know?
Yeah, true.
What I was going to say, kind of what you said. No, you're good. The words of wisdom. Remember when before the show started, when I was doing, don't do shit to do it. Yeah, just to do it. It's the exact same thing. Yeah. Like you said, if you do one thing, why not do it right? Or like I use that every single day. I use it with my employees. I use it with people around me. It's like,
you use it with me a lot.
Yeah, I use it with him a lot. Yeah, it's like, don't do shit to do it. And I have to explain it to them what it means. Yeah. And it's just, it goes with another saying, el burro trabaja doble. Yeah. O el huevón trabaja doble. Yep. So.
Yeah, it's very difficult to be something you're not. Yeah. And so it may be fun. And I always go back to the example of like, it's fun arguing, dude. Like people enjoy arguing. I do it with my girlfriend, like cheekily, right? Like it's not a real thing that we're arguing about, but it's a way to release that engagement of like arguing. It's just fun. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I'm fighting for something I believe in right now, you know, but it's not fun in a way where you wish to be in those situations in reality, you know? I don't know. Like you have to find some way to be happy with what you're doing in every moment of your life. Yeah. And like what's that principle you can carry within like that will carry you through every moment of your life in a way that you're pleased with yourself. True. And for me, it's how you do something is how you do everything. And I don't have to be conscious of it while I'm doing things, right? If I want to do something, I'll do it. If I don't want to do something, I'll do that. Live with the result. That's the big thing.
I like that. I think I never looked at it that way, but I think I'm very similar in that sense too. Yeah.
Well, so I was gonna say right now, you pick fights with your girl. Is it about going out? Like, does she ever say, "Where do you want to go eat?"
This is Chipotle. Chipotle. This one don't even ask her. We're going to Chipotle.
No, yeah, our whole relationship is based around eating, like places we go to eat, whatever. But no, it's usually like, "Oh, did I show you this song I made?" And then she'd be like, "No, you never show me anything anymore." Be like, "Bitch, I should do this, I should do that." Whatever. It's like play fights, you know, kind of thing. Yeah.
No, we know what's up. We want to say thank you, honestly, for coming out early morning Sunday. Usually we do them a little later, but we had to coordinate with schedules. But thank you again. It was fucking fun having you on the show. Hell yeah. Definitely want to have you again in the future.
Yeah, dude. I hit up my homies Joel and Melvin. They do Isimo with me. Okay. But they're hilarious. Joel is a fucking fireball, hilarious. And Melvin's a very good entrepreneur, but also comedian. So me and Melvin are comedians. Joel's just some wild ass food that's pretty dope. Nice. Cool. But Joel's cool because he does like photography for stand-up comics and videography for stand-up comics. So
nice. Cool. Nice. Yeah, thanks for coming, man. Appreciate it. You know, like we talked about earlier, man, we got to help each other out. Yeah. Not just as, you know, Latinos, but as podcasters too. And it was dope just getting your perspective on the whole thing and how it has changed your life too, just like it's changed ours. So yeah, it's pretty dope to see, and we wish you the best continued success, and we'll keep collabing, man.
Yes, sir.
Anybody could find you that's not already following you. Like, where can they find you?
GELOLDO. It's Jololdo on everything, Instagram and all that stuff, and then Isimo Pod is the other one. And on YouTube, I have Raccoon Tweeties, which is under Brendan Cooney's YouTube channel. But yeah, I think that's about it.
Okay. Hey, you guys know it now. Give him a follow. Go check out his work. Go check out his stuff.
Isimo Pod. Check them out.
Very funny. Yeah. You're going to fucking laugh. And if you're a Chipotle hater, he has a Chipotle hater for
he has a Discord. So for you. Make sure you join that. Alrighty, guys. Take it easy. See you guys.
Hey, thanks, bro.
Later. Thank you, guys.